Well, hello everybody, this is Mr. Mike, and you are listening to the GamezAttack podcast. This is episode 23, as it's called Xbox Going Up a Drain, not down a drain, mind you, but up a drain. Yes, I did write it that way. And I am your host, your gaming podcaster, the guy that was just ranting and talking about this stuff like 2 seconds ago, but then I found out for some reason, and this is, I don't know if this is just a me thing or if it's just OBS that's just fucking up, but I noticed when I was looking, even though I hit the record button, it stopped recording. And I don't know if that's just an OBS thing, or if anybody else has that problem, but I was ranting for a good moment and I had a lot of good opinions and talking, and I look over and I'm like, wait a second, it's all grayed out. Why is it not recording? What the fuck? And this isn't the first time this shit has happened, folks. OBS, I think there's something wrong with the OBS software. I'm not quite sure if that's 100% true, but I gotta be more careful looking out. And I wish OBS had like a better way of me. I know it has the thing where it shows, oh, it's recording on the very bottom of the screen. It's like a little picture. Why doesn't it have something where I could have this big thing that shows me recording, light on, green, go, and it doesn't have that. It doesn't do that. It's kind of sad in a way, but everybody, welcome to the GamezAttack podcast. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, again, of course, for me. Mostly this is going to be the talk about that big old Xbox talk that's been going on and the rumors and all that.
Enjoy your gaming.
And enjoy your gaming. And, I got that right. And,
Nintendo.
no, got that wrong. There we go. Now I got that right. It's always I gotta make sure I get it right when I hit these things. But yes, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of rumors, a lot of rabble rousing, a lot of people that just want those damn clicks, those a-holes out there that just want those clicks with false information and all that, giving you all the false information, that want to make up stories, that want to break good counsels and stuff, and try to get those clicks and stuff. And there's been a lot of turmoil out there, a lot of little people making big noises, and they don't really mean much at all, nothing. And my opinion is those people should be held accountable, but I know people like Microsoft and other companies don't really do anything. They don't really go after or sue them for falsifying information or stuff like that, or news or goods, even if it does hurt their bottom lines a little bit, depending. And this could have hurt Microsoft's bottom line a little bit. But, I waited on Thursday. They had the little podcast, the 22-minute, it was like 22-minute sit-down podcast with Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, all the heads of the Xbox team of Microsoft. And they had their podcast lady, the person that asked the important questions, with them, talking to them. And they sat down, said what they had to say in those 22 minutes, and that was it. And, depending on what you got from that little 22-minute podcast and information and stuff, the ball's in your court. The decisions are yours. And then, after that, I listened to all the people's other podcasts. I listened to Jeff Gerstmann and what he had to say after the video, after that little video went up on YouTube on Thursday. Sure, I listened to him on Monday on his podcast, but like I said, it was just rumors then. Then I listened to him, what he had to say during and after the little podcast briefing. Then I listened to people at Giant Bomb. I listened to the actual news people over at Nextlander as well. And, I listened to the Cheap Ass Gamer people that I listened to. And then recently today, I listened to the Rebel FM group of gaming insiders and press guys on what they thought about the 22 minutes of information and news and what they felt and what they think is going to happen and et cetera, et cetera. So I've been listening to a lot of the game industry and what they had to say, all the games journalists out there. Now, I'm a games journalist myself, but I am an amateur. And I always say this when I talk in my podcasts and videos and stuff. I am not a professional game journalist. I admit that. I always admit that. I always talk about that. But I do game journalism as a hobby. I do it as a fun hobby because I love the business. I love the industry. I love talking about video games and how they're made and what goes on behind the scenes. I love all that behind the scenes stuff with the hardware, the software, the services, all that stuff. I love to talk and think gaming because that's who I am. I'm a gamer. I'm old. I am freaky. I am a gamer. Hence why I call this OldFreakyGamer. You know, I call my network my freebie business, OldFreakyGamer.com, which is my website. And I do videos, I do podcasts and stuff like that on video games. And I don't earn a cent. I don't charge for anything. I don't have ads. And I say this again, even though I said this once before, but because it wasn't recording, nobody will ever hear it until I say it again. If you see ads on anything like videos or my website, OldFreakyGamer.com, that's a Google thing. That's Google pushing in ads, putting in all that stuff. And you know what? I say, put an ad blocker on. I don't care. You can put all the ad blockers on you as you want. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt my bottom line. If you see somebody selling any Old Freaky Gamer merchandise, that is all fake. And I say just burn them down to hell for that. And you can just, or else if they want to sell my merchandise, they got to at least talk to me and make a nice offer to me. I got to get some of that royalties from my Old Freaky Gamer merchandise. But otherwise, I don't make a cent off of this because I don't sell merch either yet. I still plan on eventually making more different shirts and stuff like that and drawing up logos and stuff whenever I get that chance to. But you know, I do this all for a fun hobby. This is my fun after long weeks of work and stuff. I like to game a lot. I like to play games. I like to talk about video games. And there's not many people I know, and I do have a friend that plays games, but he just doesn't like to talk about them. And he doesn't like to talk on podcasts. He doesn't want to ever do that stuff. So he's a very shy individual, let's just say. But anywho, I'm in it my way. You know, I look from the outside in. Sometimes I get that inside dirt. Sometimes I hear things throughout the other game journalists out there, and I pay attention to the business. So I know the business. I've been doing this for many, many, many years, way before I did OldFreakyGamer.com. I used to do this on my old Juju2Cast stuff, and I used to do the GamezAttack podcast when I used to call it the GamezAttack Audiocast on the Juju2Cast.com network thing that I used to call it and stuff. I used to do this for years and years and years. Since right after high school, I started doing podcasting on video games and making videos and stuff like that. But I consolidated everything. I made sure I just did everything gaming. And then last year, like I said, decided and sat down and said, I'm just going to make podcasts and videos of just gaming, just straight up gaming, because I used to do other stuff too. But anywho, I might call myself an Xbox fanboy or Microsoft Xbox fanboy, but I do love all the other games. If there's a game on the PlayStation that eventually comes to PC and it's interesting, like the Ratchet and Clank games or whatever they bring to it, I will look at it and eventually I'll buy it when it's cheap enough, of course, because even I won't spend like $70 on every video game. But I won't buy a PlayStation because I don't think the value in owning a PlayStation 4 or 5 or whatever down the road is worth it to me, because they don't bring as much value as what I consider a Microsoft brings to me. I think Microsoft brings to me a lot of value on games, especially with Game Pass and stuff. And I own a Switch, and I have games for the Switch that I sometimes play. I know I don't play it as much as I should. I used to play it a lot more, but I play it a little less because I've been playing more PC and ROG Ally games, because I don't even play my Xbox as much anymore, because I can play most of these games digitally on my Xbox or my PC or my ROG Ally. But I still love playing Switch games. I still love playing them once in a while and taking out the Switch, going, oh, yeah, this is a fun little game. This is a fun Nintendo game. But I love all the games, despite the companies, despite whatever. Mostly I talk about Xbox. Mostly I talk about Microsoft stuff. Yes, because that's my companies. That's my mainland companies, and those are the ones I supported for a long time. I used to be a Microsoft fanboy way longer before I even started doing any of this stuff. This is back when I was even before kindergarten, when I first used a Windows 3.1 Windows PC back in the day. That's how far back I go. I started using PCs when it was Windows 3.1. That's before Windows 95, 98, 2000, all those other Windows versions. That's how far I go back. So, they had, like I said, they had some no messaging. There was some rumors going on behind the scenes. You got these people out there that are picking this stuff up, trying to create some drama behind it. Oh, they're going to get out of the hardware business. I'm going to break this console on video, on streaming, get all these clicks and all these likes and get all this extra bullshit so I could get people to watch it and get all these people to watch it. Then I get, advertisement money from Google and shit like that. And then I make some easy money because I'm creating drama, and you're just doing false propaganda. You're just making shit up because you don't know what's going on, because you're not talking to a Phil Spencer. You're not talking to anybody else on the Xbox team. You're not talking to Satya Nadella, the head of Microsoft. You're not talking to any of them. You're just making bullshit up. And I have a problem with that. And I know it's never addressed as something that I think companies could address, but they don't. And I know they want to keep their images a little cleaner, and they don't want to go after everybody. Now I know Nintendo goes after people when they use their likenesses to their content, like Pokemon, mainly Pokemon. They're really protective over every little Pokemon. Your Chairmon, your Botmon, and whatever Pokemon that they freaking pull out of their asses. They're very protective over that shit, all of their IPs and stuff. So they will send a lot of cease and desists and all this stuff, just like people are wondering about Palworld. Are they going to go after Palworld? Well, they went after the one person that wanted to bring real Pokemon to Palworld and bring the actual Pokemon to Palworld. They brought action to that person really fast. But anywho, still, they don't, Microsoft and Xbox, they're not gonna really do that. Even though I think they should, because this shit could hurt their bottom line. And if it's involving where it can hurt your money and your bottom line and future sales of like hardware and software and stuff, I'd be like, hey, cease and desist, sir. Apologize and retract all your bullshit statements on how we're doing what? If it was me and I ran like Xbox or PlayStation or somebody, and there was rumors going on, false rumors, I'd be getting on the record and be like, okay, these people are scumbags. If you listen to them, may God be with you. But unless if it's coming from this guy's mouth or any of my team members' mouths that have authority and stuff to say stuff, and you're listening and you believe that shit, the joke's on you. And for those people that are making up these rumors and shit, just stop, because you're just going to piss us off. And there could be some legal action someday against you because we don't appreciate you hurting our brand, because you might not be liking a PlayStation. You might not be liking Xbox. You might be a PlayStation fanboy or vice versa or whatever. All these people, these adult babies sitting in their mommies and daddies' basements going, I'm going to create a stuffle. Now, I created a video. I admit this, and it's up there. I'm talking about it. I created a video before. When they did that recent Xbox dashboard update, I hated it. It was the worst. It's full of crap. It's full of a lot of stuff, and it still is. They improved it a lot, and I might make a new video eventually. I was thinking about it, and I still am, and it might be coming sooner than later. I've been, using it because I've been adapting to it. It took a lot longer than it should, but Originally, I hated that Xbox dashboard. It was garbage. I can't do anything on it. I can't find anything. They took away most of the pins and stuff. But then I've been, recently they had some more updates to it. I've been learning some stuff about it, and it's getting better. But I made a video because I was mad. I'm like, why are you taking away a good dashboard? Sure, this one's faster, but you took away a good dashboard design and how I had everything set up, and you flushed it down the toilet. And I was pissed by that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call them out on it because I think that was a decent thing to do. It wasn't something that was fake or fake news or something that was not real or true. It was true. I was mad. I was mad for a while, and this dashboard's really bad. It's really sucks on how they did all this stuff. And then, later I played with it more and more. And then, like I said, some updates came up to it and they did some other stuff and I fixed it up and I made it pleasing. It's still not the best. But I made it pleasing to my eyes and how I use it and play it. Not that I play my Xbox as much anymore, but I do bring it out of, I do turn it on once in a while for, watching media on it or whatever on my TV, or I'll play a few games on it. But, like I said, I'm mostly PC and my ROG Ally right now. But, yeah, they did the same thing with Windows too. For Windows, and they did this for Windows 11. They didn't do it fully with Windows 10 yet, but they took away the charm side, what they call the charm side. I call it like the icon side, where you can pin your stuff to the start menu. You got all these nice little files, and I can have all my programs and apps on that I pre-pinned on there that I really like to go to most of the time. And I make it really nice on Windows 10. Like, I'm going to hate to get rid of Windows 10 and go to Windows 11 or 12. I'm not going to go to 11. I'll probably go to 12 with this PC, my gaming PC here, my main PC. But I'm going to hate not being able to pin stuff to a nice start menu where I could just bring it all up and go, ooh, yeah, go to here quickly, there quickly, there quickly. Because it makes life a lot easier with Windows 10 that I'm like, oh, I could get to this stuff nickety-plickety. I got my games in the games section. I got this here. I like to organize all that stuff. And, when they took it all away in future editions, and especially Windows 11, and you got the Xbox did it, I was mad. And I had every right to be mad because I was used to something that was really nice, and they made something a little less nice, and I had reason to complain. I didn't just do it for clicks or anything because I didn't care. I just wanted to hear other people's opinions on it and whatnot. And sure, over, 7-point-something thousand views later, and people commenting, and a lot of people still don't like the dashboard that is currently on the Xbox, which a lot of people didn't like any of the dashboards. I liked most of them. There were some few that were kind of but this one was like, but I got used to it a bit more, and I might have an update video eventually, but I posted that video because I was actually truly angry about something. I wasn't making shit up, unlike these people. So they had their little conference, their little podcast, 22-minute conference, and they talked a lot of stuff. Mainly, they talked a lot of stuff about stuff and a lot about nothing. A lot about nothing was they talked about that they're not going to tell you which 4 games, which they said there's going to be 4, but they didn't tell you which 4 games were going to be going multi-platform. They did say there was going to be 4 games and that this is a game. It was a decision based upon per game basis. They make decisions every game. Is this game just good for Xbox? Is this game going to be good for multi-platform? Blah, 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 blah. And, of course, Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond and Matt Booty said, well, these games that we're picking, either if it's us or from on high or something, we picked these games because we knew these games were slowing down in the playing side or the profitability side, the people using side. And he also, when the podcast lady, the hosts asked the important main question, because everybody's always been wondering, because he didn't want to mention the game's names, because he's like, well, we don't want to mention these because the studios are still working on them to get them ready for multi-platform. We want them to to announce the games and stuff, because we want to give them the credit, not just us putting it out, out there ourselves. And another thing that I heard on another podcast, on one of the other podcasts, which also made sense, if they got promotional deals and they negotiated like for a future Nintendo Direct or something, and they got major like games going to them, and they got major press release announcements for like a Nintendo or something. They got like a contract going on with Nintendo or Sony or something on games that they're promoting to go onto their platforms. They can't break those contract deals, and they can't accidentally announce what those games are, because they're basically, breaching contract, which is understandable. And he wasn't going to go out right to say that stuff, because he didn't want people to, even though he probably could have said, well, we don't want to breach any contracts with anybody or say anything about the games, but that's how business goes. Because, a lot of people don't understand business. But here's the thing. They didn't want to breach probably contracts. They didn't want to ruffle feathers with the partners that they're working on with these games. So they're going to wait till these games are ready to be announced and put out. And then he says, which he said multiple times, it will make sense on why we picked these games to go multi-platform. Which then you got all the people saying, well, what games do we think that they're going to be? Well, then the lady asked, well, is Starfield going to be one of those games? Is Indiana Jones going to be one of those games? And Phil Spencer clearly stated, no, it was not going to be Indiana Jones. And no, people, it's not going to be Starfield. Those were not going to be going multi-platform. So all you babies could shed a sigh of relief that those big games will not go multi-platform, which, as of right now, sure, they could, if they wanted to, let Starfield go multi-platform. Why do I care? Why would you care? It's already out on Xbox. When the next DLC hits, it should go multi-platform, because then they can make more money. Bethesda can make more money off the game for Microsoft and Xbox, and it'll look better on sales records. And any other game could look better on sales records, and it can bring more money to those studios, which can make you better, bigger, whatever kind of games that you want to play in the future. See where I'm coming from? More money in the Microsoft Xbox coffer, even though they are a $3 trillion company, but they got to keep that $3 trillion going, and they got to get more. It's always more. Remember, greedy shareholders. And that's part of any corporation. I always say shareholders are the ones that keep corporations down. They're the ones, because they got to please their shareholders. That's what keeps innovation and creativity and everything down, because you got to appease the shareholders first, and then creativity and success second. But, that's how it goes. But they're going to put out these certain games, and a lot of people are saying, well, what they were thinking, what could be these certain games? Well, a lot of them are saying, well, it's probably Hi-Fi Rush, because they've been seeing a lot of stuff with PlayStation logos on Hi-Fi Rush t-shirts and stuff, and Nintendo logos on Hi-Fi Rush. So Hi-Fi Rush, good. Small little company, game making company, they may not be a bunch of games, most that I never played, but Hi-Fi Rush is one of them, and it did well on the Xbox side. I played it. I thought it was an amazing game. Bring it on over to a Switch or something. I'd buy it on a Switch. If they had a physical copy of Hi-Fi Rush, I don't think they will, but if they did, I'd buy it for the Switch just to own a physical copy of the game. And you want to bring it to PlayStation? Go ahead. What was it called? Pentiment? I forgot what that game is called. Let me see here. Pentiment? I'm looking. I wonder if it's on this. Pentiment. Oh, why are you bringing this shit up? I hate when websites do that. Yeah, Pentiment. Sorry. So Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Sea of Thieves, which makes sense. Sea of Thieves, even though a rare game and originally made on the Xbox, is a multi-platform open world type of game. And you can only get so many people on Xbox and stuff like that, and Xbox PC. And if you're going to open it up to like PlayStation people and Nintendo Switch people, which the Nintendo side I can see, but they're not really good with the online, but I can see it happening. I hope the online's good enough for that. I always wonder about Nintendo and online, but they would make a good thing because Sea of Thieves is kooky and crazy, and they do a lot of things in there. I personally haven't played Sea of Thieves yet, but that's just because I don't have a crew of people to play with. But I could see that going multi-platform, especially if they're needing more money to keep that game running. And the one that they don't have on here, which I also would make sense, is probably not Remnant. What's that one game? Oh, shoot. I'm forgetting the game's name. So Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and what's the one with the kids that go Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style? That game. Grounded. That's the game. And I'm thinking Grounded. Grounded is one of those games that could go to be bigger, and they could put it on multi-platforms. I'm thinking that's one of the 4 games. Now, like originally, people were wondering if Starfield was one of them. Well, it's not. A lot of people say, it could be Halo or Gears of War. No. I said this before. They're not going to do that. And if they did do that, there would have to be a big reason to put Gears of War or Halo on a PlayStation or something. And of course, it would be years later, even though these games are years and years old. But there would have to be a reason, and they would have to remaster them and stuff, and they would have to make sure they come on Game Pass and stuff first and all that. But I understood that a lot of these games would not be what they're saying they're going to be. And I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look here, see if because there's a lot of news that came out of there that I want to make sure I'm looking. Okay, so I got all that. But yeah, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, those feel like the games that they want. I was also thinking, I wonder if Minecraft Dungeons, but Minecraft Dungeons is multi-platform, isn't it? Wasn't that actually multi-platform to begin with? I think it was. Don't quote me on that. I think that went on to other systems as well. But that's not really a good... I heard it's not really a fun, decent fun game. So, Minecraft, that kind of Minecraft game is not the thing that people want to play. So I can see those other games, though. And if that's what's going to happen, we will find out in a later or soonish or later Nintendo Direct. I don't know if or when PlayStation will announce anything on that stuff, but Microsoft does have a great relationship right now with Nintendo, so I could definitely see that happening. Also, they talked about, even though they didn't announce the games, like I said, contracts, there's obligations. We'll hear about it. Sure, it's sad that they didn't say anything, but we'll hear about it eventually. And if they're saying it's not one of their marquee titles, and you know what? This is what the lady should have asked. Is it one of your big studio games? Is it one of your major first-party studio games going to this? Is this one of your, she should have said maybe your classic franchise games? Would those be considered going to the other platforms? That's what she should have worded it as, I would think, because then he could say, well, no, it's going to be a good franchises, but these are going to be the newly developed franchises like Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, which I never played Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, stuff like that. And he did state that depending on how the business goes and how business trends go, you can't always you can never guarantee that none of these other games could ever go on to other platforms down the road. Business strategies change. Businesses change. The world of gamers and people wanting to buy games change. So things could change down the road. Even he admits it. Things could change. down the road, because that's how the gaming business is. If they're not making any money on games, which right now they currently are making a lot of money, even though they're now saying, and I've been hearing this all the time, 3-1, 2-1, who knows how many consoles, PlayStation is outselling Xbox consoles, whatever, to one, whatever. I don't give a care. I own an Xbox Series X. It's a great console, but I also own PC and a ROG Ally, so, I got my PC side going with me, but, I'm happy with it. All the people that own these consoles are happy with them, so why not? And I should also say Series S as well, but, that's its own little outlier thing, even though Series X and S are the same console with different horsepowers to them. They're still in that same category of ecosystem. I don't know. I'm not going to say anymore because I make it sound stupid when I say that, but who cares if Sony's selling more? They're always going to sell more because there's more favoritism over the PlayStation than an Xbox, because here's the thing. Japan, Europe, they favor the Japanese companies more than they favor the American company because it's an American company and nobody likes America. Let's face it. You guys should all know this who listen to this or watch this or whatnot. Understand. Other countries, even though we might have still some friends out there in the rest of the world, gamers and people and, sadistic people, they hate on American companies doing well. They hate on America doing well because we always tout we're the best of the best. We're the best country, even though here's the dirty little lie, everybody in Europe and Japan and China and everywhere else. I know you think we're the best of the best, that we're the most powerful nation in the world, and we always say that. We're the biggest piece of shit country in the world. I can say that clearly as 100% American here. We are the biggest shit stain on the planet when it comes to anything. And our shit smells worse than everybody else's shit out there. Especially right now when we got the shits in the office. But we understand. I understand. They're not people in America. Most of the people here in America, the true patriots, aren't going to say that. They're saying, "No, America's great," or "It's going to be great again." I'm saying, no. We are our own third world nation here. We have the worst of everything here, especially violence and gun violence and everything else. We understand. The true people understand. I understand. And but I don't understand is if we can offer you a gaming console that's cheap with an awesome Game Pass and all these other games, I don't understand. Is it just because they don't have all the mainline Final Fantasy games and other games on it? It's like, I would like to talk to those people that really just want PlayStations and are so happy to buy a Japanese console from Sony or Nintendo over an Xbox. Why is your reasoning? Is it just because it's an American company, which that's what I think mostly it is on the statements on why they're outselling us 2-1 or 3-1 or whatever to 1? That's my whole true analysis on it. They just don't like Microsoft because it's an American multinational company that's doing very well. It's like it's got more money than Apple as of right now. Its share prices is $3 trillion right now compared to Apple's whatever. What is it? Is it a little under 3 trillion? I don't know. Who cares? But it is a super rich company full of money doing very, very well. And people don't like that. People don't like successful things like that at companies and stuff because they're worried that they could buy their way out of anything. And, you got all the other stuff on it. But here's the thing. They don't want to buy an Xbox because they got probably some bias towards it. Like I said, I would love to ask people, why don't you want an Xbox? If they're offering you an Xbox that's technically cheaper and smaller and still almost as powerful as a PlayStation 5, give or take on some few specs and things that, in the background, I don't give a shit about it, 4K, 60, all this bullshit. If the game plays well on it and it looks great, that's all I care about with my games. I'm very basic on that. If they make the games look great and play great, fine. That's all I care about. But What makes a person not want to buy an Xbox or sign up for Game Pass? Because you don't even need to buy an Xbox. You can sign up for Game Pass Ultimate. I think you can do that in other countries as well, and get just PC Game Pass and stuff. And if you have a nice rig, or you have a ROG Ally or one of the other handheld consoles, you could play these games really good, really well. I'm telling you, I've been playing some high intense games on my ROG Ally. I've been playing Palworld on it. I've been playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth on it. I've been playing Persona 3 Remastered or Reload on it. I've been playing a lot of, it plays Killer Instinct very well on it. I love playing Killer Instinct on my ROG Ally. That's been fun as well. I can play a lot of great games on my ROG Ally, and it's like playing an Xbox portable in my head, even though it's been rumored as well. They haven't said it in the press conference, but there's been a rumor that Microsoft is working on a handheld portable, and we'll talk about that in a little bit in the extended Xbox news. But yes, Microsoft isn't so-called doing as well, but they are doing as well because, don't forget, they purchased Activision Blizzard. And after doing it, and I just fucked myself over doing that, but I'll just talk about this. Microsoft and Phil Spencer announced in the thing that they're the biggest publisher of games on third-party consoles, or the biggest third-party publisher of games for consoles like the PlayStation and the Switch, or Nintendo Switch, because they own Activision Blizzard. They got all these other franchises, and a lot of these games already go to those other platforms, so they got that stuff. Now, like I said, to me, it doesn't matter because I'm already in the ecosystem and stuff, but shit, I wonder if maybe mainline Final Fantasies, which eventually Square Enix is going to have to do, no matter what Sony might want to pay them and stuff. You would think because of Square Enix's very poor sales record, even though they don't got those Western developers anymore in their pockets. They gave up Square Enix and all that other. They gave up that Enix part of Square. They gave up what was it? Crystal Dynamics. That's what they gave up. They gave up Crystal Dynamics and all the other Western studios away. And now that they only got their own internal Square Enix studios, that make Final Fantasies and stuff like that, and they're still not doing financially well. Maybe it's because you're only bringing your damn games to PlayStation, and even if it does have a big big base, a big console base to it and stuff, and you got a lot of people that own PlayStations, how many of them are actually buying and playing your Final Fantasy games? Now, would it be smarter to bring that to more platforms? Sure, you might have it on. Do they even have the Final Fantasy Rebirth on PC yet or anything? Is that even out for Steam and stuff? I haven't checked. I'm not going to check right now, but I haven't seen if that was something that they did. Maybe I should check. Let's see here. I'm just going to search it here. Is Final Fantasy what was it called? Like Rebirth? Oh, Rebirth on PC. I guess Final Fantasy Rebirth will launch on PC May 29th this year. Okay, so apparently Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is coming out on, let's see here, on PC on May 29, 2024. It's an exclusive, of course, to the PlayStation. But here's the thing. If they're not making enough money with Final Fantasy on just PlayStation, they're going to have to think about putting it on other systems, like Xbox eventually. If they want to make up that money, and if they could put it on like Game Pass and stuff, which Microsoft would probably happily open up their checkbooks and say, hey, how much to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Rebirth 2 or whatever on Game Pass and stuff? How much do we got to pay you? I'm sure they would do that because Phil Spencer even clearly said people want to get those mainline Final Fantasy games on Xbox, and he's trying really hard. He's even went to Square Enix to try to get those exclusives and those first-party games to the Xbox. So we'll see on when that happens, if that happens, because Square Enix can't just survive just with PlayStation sales alone, and they're not putting them out on Nintendo. The Switch ain't getting any Final Fantasy games, and that's the biggest, you would think, because that's the biggest console. Nintendo has more consoles sold than both Xbox and PlayStation together, right? Because didn't they sell over 100-something million Switches? Don't they have more market cap than both Xbox and Sony? So wouldn't a smart company think, maybe we should try to publish more games on the Switch? I know Nintendo takes their cuts and stuff, and it's a little more expensive to develop for the Switch because of the cartridges or whatever, but they could do it digitally as well. But wouldn't you think that it would be smart business to do that, So it's commonplace to think, okay, Sony is a better console maybe because of the Final Fantasy games and other Japanese exclusive. Nintendo is because they got those. And I can see that, but why the hate for the Xbox? I just really want to know why people got so much bias towards it. Now, when I say I don't like PlayStation right now, because I have a Vita, I have a PS3, I have a PS1, I want to get a PS2, or I got some bootleg PS2 games and stuff. I got some stuff that I can get some ROMs, because if I can't get a PS2 anymore, because those are very expensive, you want to buy them on the outside market. I should have never gave up my PS2, but got the original consoles. But I had a PS4 for a short second, but then I played it. It was garbage. There was no good games coming out for it right away, and the controllers were a little smaller. The DualShock 4s were a little smaller and stuff. I didn't like it. I played it at my friend's house, and I returned it. And then when I heard about the PS5 coming out, I'm like, okay, it's powerful and stuff, but it looks like garbage. It's huge. It looked garbagey, and there was still no games for the PS5 that I really care about. I don't care about The Last of Us. Don't give a damn shit about The Last of Us. The God of Wars now aren't like the God of Wars of the past that I used to love. I missed the original God of War games. I'm sorry. I like those. They were all, when they all went all the way to the PS3, those God of War games were amazing. I like that. I like old school God of War. Now they got an open world and they're doing all this. I don't want that in my Kratos and God of War. I'm sorry. I don't want that. What else? They don't have any more Infamous games coming out. I used to be a big Infamous game player. I love Infamous. I think Sony's doing a disservice, or whoever. Was that Insomniac that did the Infamous games? I think it's a I think it's a bad thing that they're not trying to remaster all the Infamous games and put them out on a PS5 or something, or PC or something. Because shit, I would totally play the shit out of an Infamous game if it came out on PC. Did Infamous ever come out on PC? Let me check again. Is Infamous on PC? I bet you that's a no. Infamous PC. Not available on PC. Okay, only exclusive to PlayStation. None of the Infamous games, mind you. And they were great games. I loved playing the Infamous games on the PlayStation. But I always, like I said, now I'd play them on PC. But they don't bring them out. They don't value their older games over on PlayStation like Microsoft Xbox does with their older games, backwards compatibility, all this other stuff. So it's always hard, and I know it's all about ecosystems and stuff. It's always hard for somebody like me in the Xbox Microsoft ecosystem to look over the other side and go, why aren't you supporting your fans by giving them backwards compatibility on some games, bringing some games back, remasters? Like, I've been hearing rumors that they're making another Uncharted game, and I'm like, really? Nothing new in the pipeline? And I'm also hearing that Sony doesn't really have much going on in the new pipeline for games as well. You know, they got the recent Spider-Man game. Sure, that's a great game and all, but what else? Microsoft, tons of studios, tons of properties, tons of stuff on Game Pass to hold Xbox gamers for a long time. Nintendo, tons of great games. I got a big library of Nintendo Switch games that I still haven't got into yet. But that's what I did. And excuse me, I got to take a quick break. You won't know anything. Okay, back. And anywho, that's enough. I'm not going to talk anymore because we're talking about Xbox and stuff and the messaging that they're doing. Now, that 22 minute little podcast stuff, they didn't really say much. The only thing that they really truly announced or said, which was funny because a lot of people were freaking out about this as well, that Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass, which I'm hoping it means not just Xbox, but also PC, because I want to play Diablo 4 on my ROG Ally and my PC. Not really my Xbox console. I know, doesn't it sound bad as an Xbox gamer like myself that I want to play it more on my PC and ROG Ally? But that's what I've been doing. Like I said, I've been playing more of these games on my PC and ROG Ally. And if Microsoft was able to get a lot of these third parties, mostly to go more, not just on the Xbox console platform, but on their Xbox PC platform, which a lot of them don't do. The very few people that do it is probably people like Sega and stuff when they do I'm glad that they do like a Dragon games and the Persona games are on PC and stuff on top of the Xbox, because I buy those games once. I get them. I can play them on both my console and PC. That's how I want it. And that's how all the third parties should do it. But, they do these stupid exclusives on I'm sorry to say, for me, on Steam or Epic Game Store or anything else, or if you're like Ubisoft, we're just going to have our PC games being sold in our own Ubisoft PC, game store on PC, and that's just stupid. That's just cock blocking, wall blocking, and you're basically dividing your players, your gamers. And a lot of people, like me, will never buy a game on your Epic Store or your Steam. I buy some games, but I still want those Achievos and stuff, because that's another thing that drives me to buy games. But I'll never buy a game on the Ubisoft store. I'm sorry, Ubisoft. I will never buy a single game or a PC game on your Ubisoft store. You bring that shit to an Xbox PC store or, Steam at least, and then we'll talk. But if you're going to just sell it in your Ubisoft store, you just lost me as a customer, as a potential customer to one of your games, because you have limited availability of that game and you're not bringing it out farther. No, Sony has their ecosystem of their games for their console, and Microsoft. Nintendo, of course, has all their first parties only on their console. They don't bring out games to any other places, because why would they need to? And stuff like that. But things are going to change. And we've been hearing also that Sony, because now that, what's his name? I forgot his name already. The PlayStation boss left, the old one, that piece of garbage guy. I never liked him. He's gone. Now you got the head of Sony talking that, maybe we got to shake some things up here over at Sony PlayStation. Maybe we got to start thinking about going eventually multi-platform for some games in the future for some of our games, not just PlayStation, but other platforms as well. And that means not just PC, because they already do port some of their games to PC. Right now, it takes a little longer, but I guess they want to do it in shorter time, which is great, because then you get those direct sales quicker. But they're talking about multi-platform. That means Switch. That means Xbox, I would think. More so Xbox than Switch, at least for the current Switch. Maybe the next Switch will be powerful enough to handle PlayStation games and stuff. But yeah, they're even thinking about going semi-multi-platform for their games. And that's a good way to think of it, because then that means they get more players in a wider region that might never have played their games. Look at an MLB game. That's went multi-platform because they had to do it. And people play it on the Xbox a lot. I played it a few times. I tried it out. And, you know, that's more sales. That's more people playing that game, people knowing about those games. That's the way of the future now. Now that the future is all digital and stuff and everybody's connected, you got to think that way. You can't just think, oh, walled gardens and our own spaces. You could still have your own spaces, but you got to open up to more, you know. And Microsoft owning, you know, Activision Blizzard, they can bring a lot of those games to PlayStation, sell them to PlayStation players and Nintendo players and stuff. They can do that. Why not? Why not still do that? Because then you can make them more money. But also we can keep a few games for ourselves for the Xbox side, because we want to keep some first parties just for you, for day one, for Game Pass, for just the Xbox console and PC, because we believe that this is what you want on your console. And then all the other stuff, sure, they can go between consoles and areas and play, and why not? And that's what's going to happen. Microsoft's going to bring some games to them and vice versa, and everybody's going to flip-flop and swap as long as everybody's making money and being happy and shareholders are happy and making tons of money. That's what's going to go forward, especially when game costs are going up through the roof. Look with that, when Spider-Man announced that it was over $300 million to make that game. That's a lot of money. That's more than movies are being costing to be made out there. A lot of movies. That game, $300 million, and then they got to sell so much just to break even and just to get some money out of that. That's astronomical, and that's been going across the board for everybody. Xbox, PlayStation, maybe not so much Nintendo, but Nintendo's a little, like I said, they're the Apple of the video game industry, of the video game market. They're a little, they got some backdoor deals, and they know, like I said, they're not as powerful as these systems, so, you know, they don't have to worry about HD 4K 240 hertz graphics and sound, triple surround sound and all this other stuff and ray tracing. They don't worry about that shit. They just want to make some great games that'll hook people, that'll get people to play them over and over again, and pay them now eventually $70 for their games, and buy their consoles and make them tons of money. That's all they see. Microsoft and Sony? So, yes, he did announce that Diablo 4 is coming out this March, March 28th, which is next month, at the end of next month, which is beautiful. Like I said, I don't know exactly if it's just coming out for Xbox or PC Game Pass for just Xbox. I'm hoping it means Xbox and PC, because if it is coming out for the PC as well for Game Pass, I will be downloading that day one, and I will be playing it on my PC and ROG Ally day one and having myself some Diablo fun again. Because I played the demos, 3 times right now, and played the beginning 3 times, and I'm like, oh, now I got to play it a 4th time. I got to watch all those cutscenes, all those beginning cutscenes a 4th time, people. And I'm like, I just want to play the game. I want to play the game. And I'm going to play the game. Eventually, I'm going to play Diablo 4. I'm going to play the whole game. I'm going to play it on, like I said, I'm going to play it mostly. I'm going to try. If it's on PC, which, like I said, they didn't say, but I'm guessing that's what else it's going to be. I know it's on Steam and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it'll be on PC Game Pass. That's where I'm going to download it. That's where I'm going to play it. I'm a ROG Ally and my PC, so yeah. But that's a first Activision Blizzard title, which originally Activision Blizzard said, we don't put games out on Game Pass and stuff. That was one of their initiatives. But now that they've been sold and owned by owning, and then Microsoft fully owns them now they can start bringing those games over. And then people are like, well, why did they only announce Diablo 4? Well, because that's one of the newest, biggest titles that they have. And 2, they're going to announce all those other Activision Blizzard games during their summer press conference when Microsoft has their Xbox press briefing in June, which they will do around on Sunday around my birthday, whenever my birthday is this June. It's either Sunday, Monday, whatever. They're going to announce it around there, the time that I usually take my vacation. So let them have at it. Let them have at it. And I said that before. I'm like, when everybody's complaining, when I hear all these podcasters complain, when are they bringing out all these Activision Blizzard games? They bought the company a long time ago. Yeah, they bought them, October, November? It was not that far ago that they finally got to acquire this company. It took them a long time. And they finally got to acquire the company. And they started, doing their shakeups, which, of course, FTC's going after them again and stuff. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But they had some stuff they had to do first before getting into those games and trying to make them compatible and try to bring them over to Game Pass. I'm sure they got servers and everything else they're trying to bring over to Azure Cloud. And they got still a lot of work to do to bring the Activision Blizzard family, new family members, to the family of Microsoft Studios family, which is a big family. So they got a lot of stuff to do and going on right now, especially when people are trying to drum up rumors and accusations against them again about all this stuff. And I'm not an apologist here. I'm just saying the facts that all these clicker bait people are trying to create up a lot of bullshit and shame. But eventually those games are going to come. And I said, and I hear people from other podcasts, oh, why ain't these games out now? It's already 2024. These games should be out now. I don't know why they're taking so long. Well, first off, they're a multinational company. Even though they're here in America, they're a big company. There's a lot of things that go on in big companies and things that take a long time in big companies to do, especially with all these games. And two, they want to do it right. And what's the better time to announce all these great games to come to Xbox or PC Game Pass, or I should say Game Pass in general? That would be the Xbox Showcase Briefing press conference in June. Then they can also maybe announce, a new revision of the Xbox or something if they want to do something hardware-wise. I don't know if that will happen or not. Maybe that all-digital Xbox Series X will come out or something. I don't know. And maybe they'll lower the price points on them or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll announce the Xbox Series X will get even cheaper. I don't know. Who knows? But they want to announce it at a big event that they know a lot of people will watch, that they know is going to be their time and all that. And they know that people will like it. So, not a big deal to me. What else were they talking about? They were talking about something else. Or people were asking someone else and they're talking about someone else. A lot of it's just corporate speak. A lot of it was just, them saying, calm down, calm down. Like I said, they're going to continue to make Xboxes. That's something that Phil Spencer also stated. They're going to continue to make Xboxes. They will not stop. Yeah, Phil Spencer stated that he even reassured employees during a town hall meeting before they went on to do their podcast. He reassured people we won't stop making Xbox consoles, because it wouldn't make sense if they did, because that's where your main player base is. Even if it is a smaller player base, they're still making lots and lots of money. Excuse me for my nose here, for you video people. They're still making lots and lots and lots of money on the Xbox platform, and they're not going to give that up. And if they're still making a lot of money on the Xbox platform, and they're still selling Xboxes and stuff, maybe not as much as they would like to, but they're still selling them and they're still making money on them, they're not going to give them up. And they're going to still make them. They're going to still have Game Pass has to go on a single console. It ain't going to just be PC Game Pass going forward and just for PCs and play. Sony ain't going to let them put Game Pass on the PlayStation. I know that's what they would like to do. I know that's what they would like to have on the next Nintendo hardware is Game Pass for Nintendo. That might make more sense for Nintendo hardware because they don't really have... I don't think Nintendo has too many of those games that go on Xbox or PlayStation, so maybe there'll be like a rendition of Xbox Game Pass for the next Nintendo system, the next Switch system maybe, because it'll be more beefier hardware and stuff. We'll see. We'll find out. But I don't think that would happen for a PlayStation. I don't think Sony would like that because there's too much, like somebody else said, too much overlap in games. Sony has their own thing. They got a lot of those games as well, even though their thing, their PS Plus whatever initiative is kind of messy and it seems a lot more expensive than Game Pass. But hey, that's why they're going to still keep it on Xbox. That's why they're going to keep making Xboxes. That's why Phil Spencer claimed that they're going to keep making these Xboxes. They're going to keep selling Xbox, so don't worry. And that he also kind of stylishly quickly announced that they're also in the works of designing the next Xbox console, which will be, what did he say? The largest, he said that they're working on the next Xbox console, and that he says it will be the largest technical leap in a hardware generation. He says that it's going to be the most, basically saying it's going to be the most powerful console pretty much ever made. And I don't know if that means that's going to be that all digital Xbox. He says he's talking on that this news is going to come this fall. Additional hardware news is also coming in the fall. I don't know if he means by that this is going to be coming in the fall about this next gen hardware, or if it's going to be something else later. But he says there is going to be some hardware news in the fall, and that they do got plans for this super big, this big leap in technology wise leap in the hardware generation next. And it gets me to thinking, I'm like, Microsoft's been designing their own chipsets as well. And sure, they got AMD as a partner now, which they can still continue to have in the next future Xbox. But they got their own little chip designing things going on internally. Mostly it's for those AI chips. And I hear they're very, very, very powerful, those chips. I wonder if they would take some of those AI chips and turn them into like chipset chips or SoCs for an Xbox down the road. Like maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe he's saying maybe these next consoles might be from Xbox might be so powerful that you don't have to worry about frames per second anymore, that you don't have to worry about anything else for your games, and your games are going to look beautiful, and you're going to have that storage and stuff. Maybe they'll be all digital the next time going around. Maybe they won't have a disk drive, or if they do have a disk drive, even though technically it sounds like they're getting them and retailers are getting out of the disk part of the business of Xbox, maybe they'll have a disk drive that you can buy separately, so you can play your Blu-rays and whatever. If they do have physical games that still come out, you can put them in there. But otherwise, maybe it's just going to be an all-digital console going forward. And note, I always note this, at least here in America, I don't know if our internet infrastructure is still there yet, if it's even there yet still. I know it's been around here in New York, at least. I know they've been feverishly still, a lot of companies been rolling out fiber everywhere and stuff. I don't know if the rest of the country is getting all that fiber and stuff, because, a lot of people work from home or want to work from home, and a lot of initiatives about after COVID and stuff, during and after COVID, where people are like, we need a better internet infrastructure so we can do everything from home and be more remote and stuff like that. That's been going on. So I guess a lot of these financial initiatives have been going on to like people like Verizon and local municipalities and stuff to make better internet infrastructures out there, even in rural areas. Then you got Starlink. A lot of people still love Starlink, even though it's super, super expensive. And they got the next generation Starlink satellites and stuff going up, and the next satellite dish version up, which I guess improves speeds and latency and stuff like that. And that's supposed to be really good for, if you want to download stuff and game and stuff like that. But there's a lot of improvement in the infrastructure. I don't know how well, but maybe they feel like there's enough going on digitally that people could just buy games, or they're seeing a trend that more people are buying these games digitally and playing them online and digital this and that. more so than buying discs. So maybe it just makes sense that the next console will be all fully digital and stuff, and that they can make the space smaller. They can make the console smaller. They can utilize that space for more cooling and better SoCs in the console, and put more of that money to make the console more powerful. Now, note, this is only just my little. This is my 2 cents. This is what I think. If Microsoft wants to get ahead in the next generation, I don't know how long this current Xbox generation is going to go, because it's been kind of up and downer bunch of years because there wasn't that many games coming out because of COVID and all the other bullshit, and games have been taking a long time to make, and the hardware of the Series X and the PS5 and stuff seem like they haven't been really used, or they haven't been used to their full potentials yet, but yet Microsoft and Sony feel like they might want to eventually bring out new consoles. You know, Sony, their console sales have been falling, even though they've been touting excellent sales. Now their console sales are falling and dropping, and they predict they're not even going to beat their PS4 sales counterpart. And they're like, well, what do we do next? Even though Sony hasn't had that many big games coming out for the PlayStation, they're all wondering, should we bring out eventually new consoles? And I feel like, me personally, I think it's too early to even bring out a new console or think about it. I think game developers and everybody should take a chill pill out there, and everybody should just make these games the best they can for the consoles that are out now, that are working out now. And then, of course, you got the next generation Switch coming up. Maybe they'll be almost as powerful as these consoles, and then you can make those games go on the next Switch as well, you know, and then you can make games that just work along the hardware that we got now, and not worry about, oh, we need this console or this thing to be higher in graphics and processing. We need a bigger palette to play on or put our games out on and stuff. That's what you got the PC for right now. You got PC gamers, you got console gamers. To be a console gamers play console games because they don't want to deal with the PC and all the other stuff that comes along with the PC. They're not like people like me. I love dealing with the PC. I love dealing with the console. I deal with both, PC and console. A lot of people aren't like that. I have a lot of friends that aren't like that. They barely can even do the console thing, and that's the only thing they know, and that's the only thing they want to know or want to use for gaming, and that's why consoles are made. So people that don't or are fearful of the PC and all the stuff that goes on, they just focus on the console because it's easy. You pop in a disc, you load up a game, blah, blah, blah. Even though now that you load up a disc, you still got to download the game and blah, 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 blah. So it's even better if you could just download the game to the console and it just plays it. PC, you got to turn on a PC. You got to update, make sure your PC's updated and all the graphics drivers and stuff are updated and it's secure. Then you got to log into your gaming website that you buy your games from, or your app, or if it's an Xbox app on your PC and you go to PC Game Pass or whatever, you got to download the game. You got to let the game download, then install. Then you got to adjust the settings. Even though the consoles have been sort of going that direction as well, it seems like they're making games in these consoles and these games, and I don't know why this is happening. I think this has been a bad precedent for both Microsoft and Sony and such on, oh, now you can adjust your graphics or how fast the game could go or blah, 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 because we can't push a full 4K 120 frames per second HDR DLSS signal to or whatever from the console to your TV and stuff. You gotta make your choices. Do you want better performance? Do you want better graphics? You know, they do that stuff, and then they got now these individual sliders of, well, turn this on, turn that off, turn this on, and it's like, it seems like these console games are becoming more PC-like in gaming, and it's taking all that simplicity away from the consoles, and they're turning these consoles more into PCs, even though they are basically PCs under the hood. especially with the Xbox console. It's got a basic version of Windows under the hood. They said that before. And PlayStation, they probably got some OS, whatever their PlayStation OS under the hood, but they got an operating system under there. But they're making them more PC-like, and it's like, are you guys going too much in the wrong direction with giving people? And maybe, and I'm just saying maybe the next Xbox console will take away that stuff because they can do it all. Maybe it'll be able to do all that 4K, 120 hertz, all that stuff, and then they'll just have two like settings things where do you really want 4K or you don't want 4K? You want 120 hertz? You don't. You just want 60 hertz on your games because it can do it all, full resolution, full frames per second and beyond. But if your TV and stuff can't handle that, which very few TVs can't anymore, all the new TVs can handle all that stuff. Maybe that will go away eventually, and it'll make the console simple again. Just download the game, play the game. You know, you don't even have to pop in a disc. You just pop in a credit card. I don't know. That's something that they could do. My vision, like I said, my vision, and I'm going to get back to my vision now, and then we'll get back to addressing more because there wasn't much more. They didn't really say anything. They didn't really address much. They just assured people we're still making consoles. You're still going to get those so-called favorite day one games on Xbox, on those platforms, and Game Pass. So do not worry. And that these 4 games are just our little bit of extra games that we have that can go to multiple platforms because then we can see a bigger fan base for them and they make sense. So do not worry about anything. And I think that addressed some of the stuff. I know it still was in weird speak and a lot of people didn't like it, how they addressed it. And some people said, well, why don't you announce the names of the games? Well, here's the thing. They're under contract with other people, with third parties and people that maybe they can't. And then we'll find out eventually. But, Xboxes are still being made. All the other stuff is going to be made. You don't have to worry about that. And like I said, if this next generation leap in hardware in the Xbox is something to say, good on them. Good on them. And I hope it provides them with a lot of goodwill towards people. But here's my thing, because Microsoft is a $3 trillion company, okay? And I know no company or business, excuse me for hitting my mic if you heard that, and I know this will never happen because no company in their right minds or wrong minds would ever do this because this is something that's topsy-turvy. This is in my mind. This is what I would do. If I was the leader of Microsoft, if I was Satya Nadella, or if I was Phil Spencer, and I would come up with this, they want to come up with this completely crazy, obnoxious plan. And I know money is not what it used to be, and I know money's more expensive now. I know times have changed, but if it was me, and I was teasing, and it's coming up to when it's time to announce the next generation of Xbox, okay? Alongside my PCs and Game Pass and stuff. Now, note, they also teased, there was a little tease that and it's not from Phil Spencer, but there was a little tease, and I don't know if this something came up in the video as well, but there's a little tease that rumors have it that Microsoft is considering now making a portable handheld Xbox or portable console like a ROG Ally or something. And I'm thinking, well, maybe they're teaming up with Asus or somebody to make an Xbox portable, but it's going to use their hardware and stuff. They're just going to give it some Xbox stuff, and they're going to make a new version of like the Xbox ecosystem, or they're going to make a version of the Xbox OS so it could play any Xbox games, from your general Xbox. Like, there's a lot of games that I can't get on, like I said, on PC Xbox, and I'll get back to the other thing. But if there's a lot of games that I can't play on my PC or my ROG Ally because I can only get them digitally to be played on my PC, what if those games will be eventually able to be played on a ROG Ally or something, or an official Xbox ROG Ally or something like that, where I can play all those digital games because it'll have the Xbox OS on it, and I'll be able to play those games through that Xbox OS, and I can download them and play them on my ROG Ally and something portably. I wonder if they would also keep it also open so you could still download regular PC Game Pass games or Steam games or Epic games, because that would make it a bit better for a handheld. It would give people like, ooh, okay, it plays these games, but it also plays those Windows games, because there would still be Windows under the hood of that, I'm sure. But it would have the Xbox OS, so you could still play the games that haven't come to that platform yet. I wonder if that would be something that they're thinking of with the rumored portable handheld. I don't know. That's something on that. But back to what I was just saying before I derailed my whole concept here. And this is, like I said, my mind. Crazy. This is crazy talk we're talking about here. This is something that no company will ever do. And if I was to make a decision, or if Microsoft and Phil Spencer came to me, Mr. Mike, what do you think that we could do to get all these extra people from Japan, China, Europe, etc., what do you think would get them to join the Xbox family going forward and say bye-bye PlayStation? I would say, well, Phil, this is the craziest thing you'll ever hear. I know this will never happen. I know people will look at me and go, that would never work, even though it could damn sure well work, even though Microsoft would be spending a little bit of money up front for it. It could work. I'm thinking, you're talking about this new next-gen console will be super powerful. Super powerful. It's supposed to be a leap in generations, right? Not only make it super powerful, make it slim, make it nice and small, make it a nice box that's will still be super cooled and all that. They can use their vapor chamber technology, which I'm thinking is really good, because my console is really cool and quiet and stuff, and it's been running pretty damn good. But use that vapor chamber technology there. Make the box really small. Make it, I don't know what to utilize. I think this would be too big, but what would I? It's got to be bigger than this. It's got to be bigger than this router that I got here. A little bit bigger. But I know you can't tell from the camera, but it's a little smaller than my head. But if they made it, even if it's just a little bit bigger than this, make a super powerful console, make it all digital. Like I said, if you're going to go all digital, make the console so that it's compatible with those, what are those? Those memory cards that you bought, that they have now, those Xbox Series extra storage cards. And maybe on top of that, have a slot or two for an M.2 drive. So if they want to pop in an M.2 drive onto that too, if they didn't want to buy those expensive cards, they can do that. So you can have onboard memory, extra slots for backwards compatibility for those extra memory slots, a slot for those extra memory cards that, we're on that Series X and S now, and then have a little slot for an M.2 drive to pop in there. You'll have a lot of storage, boost that memory up a bit inside so games are being played. So whoever makes a game for the console, it doesn't matter what it is. Of course, their controllers are going to always be backwards compatible, and some of their other hardware is going to be backwards compatible with the unit. And, okay, you got all the hardware down. It's fully upgradable to, if people want to pay and buy and pop in their own M.2s of whatever, and they want to use the cards, they got their choice to add more memory. And, the consoles could all come with a baseline memory of 1 terabyte. I think every console going forward, if it's going to be an all digital console, they just have 1 terabyte of onboard solid state storage in there. Like I said, backwards compatibility with the memory cards, so they can pop in more storage for that. Add another 1 or 2 terabytes to that, and then pop in availability so they can pop in an M.2 drive in there, M.2 drive. You can add another 4 terabytes to there. That means you can have literally 7 terabytes of storage on this little unit, if you think about it, because you got 4 for the M.2, you got 2 terabytes for that memory drive, and then you got a terabyte on the console itself. Or if they make a console where it comes with 1 terabyte and 1 with 2 terabytes or something, that could be like 8 terabytes extra storage. So you could think about that, but that's just storage for games. But if you want to make it an all-digital console, you got to make sure there's plenty of room for people to play games on. So that would make perfect sense. And plus, because you're not having a disk drive and all the extra hardware needed, that should be easy enough to do, to just add a few features like that. And then all you got is your wireless controllers. And then in the back is your HDMIs and your power plug, and that's it. Makes it super sleek and nice. And then I tell you, depending on all that, usually something like that would be like $600, $499, $599 for a console. That's what these next generation consoles are going to cost. Maybe more because they're going to be more powerful. How about do the impossible? Do the impossible. Microsoft, you want to get more fan base? You want to get those other countries and Japan to come buy your console? Well, you already got the nice size, make it, a nice little size or small enough. Get that size down, get that beautiful size down for the console. So people are like, oh, we can put this anywhere under our TVs, on top of our TVs. We can hang it off the ceiling or whatnot. It wouldn't matter where they put it because it's small enough, but it's super powerful. How about this? Okay, we're originally going to charge you $499 and $599, and people are going to go, whew, expensive. Because these consoles, another thing that's keeping people from buying these consoles, price. The more hardware and the more they're saying we're going to make these consoles more powerful, the price got to go up. And when the price goes up, a lot of the people that are struggling to get by nowadays, that they say, and people that can't afford consoles nowadays, and I keep hearing that stuff even though I'm doing all right and I don't got a big high-paying job. I don't know what all these other people are doing. But anyways, people are saying, money's tight, budgets are tight. I got to spend $400 or $500 plus or $600 on a console? That's like a PC. Now, note, they can also add in a Windows operating system on there. So if you want to put on, like, have it so you can put a wireless keyboard and mouse to that and use it as a PC on top of a console, 2 for 1, baby. Why not? Have a dual operating system on there, or even better yet, just have the new Windows software with the, like I said, with the Xbox the Xbox operating system built into it. Then you got a 2 for 1 right there. So it's like, this is the next generation console. Or for you people that need a new PC too and you need that extra, oh, look. And it has all these USB-C slots on the back or whatever if you want to plug in extra hard drives or whatever, which you can also do. Think about it. PC and it's an Xbox. It's as simple as it can be, so you can just go and play your games on it day one. But if maybe you want to use it as a PC on the side, like to justify that price point, and you're like, this would be a powerful little PC. Oh, we can use it as a PC? I could put Microsoft Office on there and do my stuff and go print out stuff, do all this other stuff or graphic stuff. All right, I'll buy that. But how about if you did this? And this would be like something that's separate than touting it being a gaming console first and then a PC second. Like, well, we threw in the PC side too. So if you people, because this console is going to be expensive, if we're going to charge $599, $600 for this console, we want you to have more value for your console. And this is just our afterthought on this, but you can do it as well if you want to. It's up to you. And it comes with a licensed copy of Windows on there as well if you want on top of your console. But, hey, it's easy enough because it's all Xbox. It's all a gaming console. But if you want to pop in a wireless keyboard and mouse to it too, there you go. You got yourself an awesome Windows PC and a big screen to do your stuff on. So there you go, folks. People would be like, okay, we could do that. That'd be good. That would justify the price point. We need a new PC in the house, and we want a console, but we can't justify the price for the console. But If we do that, we could buy that and have a PC all in one. Why not? Sony was doing that, almost did that with the PlayStation. What was it, 3 or 4? Was it the 3, or did they do it the 4? Whether you could have put an operating system on it, like Linux or something, and then they took it away, which was stupid, but they did. Microsoft could do that. That'd make that a real good deal. But imagine this, and like I said, this is the impossible. Instead of charging $600 for this dream machine that I'm talking about here, this dream machine, that's what they could call it, the Xbox Dream Machine. That'd be an awesome thing. I'd love that if it's just said Xbox on top and it said underneath Dream Machine, because you can dream whatever you could do on it. You can dream it, it can do it. Microsoft, Phil Spencer, yes, I'll take a job. I'll take one of those big salaries. Thank you. But imagine the impossible. Still, countries, $600 still a lot of money. Like they can't wrap their minds around a powerful console PC hybrid. Imagine if they said, hey, guess what? You think this is going to be $600? No. $500? Nah. $400? No. This thing is going to be $350. Or even $299. That'd be a little short. I'm thinking like $350 or something. $349.99, $350. Maybe $400 at the most. But imagine if they kept it at a price point where they said, you get all this fabulous software and hardware in here to do your gaming, and then if you want to do some PC stuff, go ahead. You can do anything you can on a PC on this thing for like $400. I'm sure every person around the world would be like, $350? If they really wanted to stick it, and sure, they'd be taking a big hit in, on how much it would cost them from getting from their consoles, which they can justify by getting in sales and software and everything else and licensing and stuff like that. But imagine $399.99 or something on that screen, or $250 or $249 they would do, because they'd never do $250. But how about they just did $250? That'd be weird. But $249.99 or $299.99 or $249.99. Wait. Yeah, $350. Okay, $349.99. I keep saying $250 for some reason. Forget that. $399.99 or $349.99. Seeing that on a screen and seeing what this console could do, people, I'm sure, around the world would go, PlayStation who? We'll still buy a Nintendo whatever, but PlayStation who? New PC who? And if you can use this as a PC as well on the side, you could put Steam and the Epic Store on there as well. You could play PC games on here as well on the side. That sounds like an idea. I know a lot of people listen to this and thinking, you're fucking crazy. That would never financially work. And I'm like thinking, why wouldn't it? They're making tons of money on Game Pass. They would bring in millions more people to get Game Pass and go into that Xbox PC ecosystem. And then they can sell more games. They get that, 30% or whatever on all the games. They can get more people going exclusives, because if they're selling all these consoles that they're taking a big hit on, mind you, but they're taking that big hit and they're selling all these consoles to all these millions and millions and millions of people worldwide. Imagine if they came out with different colors too. It wasn't just white or black, but they came out with like a red, white, and blue, just to piss off people, like a green one or something, a red one. Because if they make the form factor nice and slick and easy, you can easily change the colors simply like that. They could do that as well if they want to, or have a special wrap that they can sell. You can wrap your console with your favorite gaming whatever or whatnot. Think of the possibilities. Think of how many people they'd get back into the Xbox ecosystem. And then they say, hey, guess what? Don't forget, all your games are backwards compatible still. They're all could be digitally backwards compatible with your new Xbox here. You could still play those. You could still play your future ones. you know, join this ecosystem. It's just getting larger because don't forget, we got Activision Blizzard and everything else. And then throwing like a few, you know, you got these new titles coming out day one for this console. And maybe even make the pot even sweeter. Be like, hey, if you're still not convinced for that $399 price point, I'll just go with $399 because I'll be like, yeah, $349 would sound weird, but I think Nintendo did something like that. If they said just $399.99, we'll even make it, and you can say, Phil Spencer can say this, we'll make this pot even sweeter. Come on, guys. You think this deal isn't going to get any better? Here's another big deal breaker for all you people thinking about getting one of the others, one of our competition or something else. If you're thinking of going somewhere else, or if you are somewhere else and you still can't decide to get an Xbox next gen or Xbox Dream Machine, how about this? We'll add one more major, to your fun. Imagine if they included a free voucher for a free game. One free voucher for one free game, full title, whatever title you want, new, used, new or old. You could get one free game with that. So you can save that free voucher for any game in the future for, I don't know, 5 years or something. Give them like 5 years or whatever, or indefinitely, because it's just one voucher for one game. Give them a code or whatever for one free game that they can get and download, like from a third party that doesn't go on Game Pass. Like if it's GTA 6 or something, or if someone's charging like, and it's going to be a standard game. It's not going to be like, oh, you could get the premium game of this. It's going to be your standard game, like your $70 or whatever game. Or if GTA 6 was to be like $80, $90, which that, I would tell them to go fuck off pretty much, but I'd probably still buy it. But they could still get that game day one for free and not have to spend that extra money. Like Nintendo does with their voucher thing where you pay like $100, what was it? Like $100, $100 something dollars, and you get like 2 vouchers for 2 video games, 2 first party games or whatever. But this would be for any game that comes out on the Xbox, you know, that's not a premium or ultra edition or something like that. And you can get one game. Or even if they said, go ahead, get a premium or ultra edition. Like if it's Call of Duty or something ultra edition that's like $150 edition or something. But it's just one game. Sure. Okay. Imagine if they added a voucher with that too on top of that. Don't you think they wouldn't get so many people joining the Xbox ecosystem? And yes, people are going to come to me and go, Mr. Mike, you're fucking crazy. That is stupid talk. They would never do that because they'd be losing on so much freaking money. They'd be spending so much money. And I'd be like, yes, at the start, they would be dropping a few truckloads of cash. But first off, they're a $3 trillion company. They can handle it. 2, when you bring in all those millions of people in the ecosystem, don't you think they're going to be buying millions of other games or Game Pass, subscribing to Game Pass on top of that, or Windows, buying Windows stuff on top of that, and so on and so on and so on, and hardware? I think that would make up and justify and bring in more piles of cash to the Xbox Microsoft ecosystem. I think that would do. Plus, don't forget, you got your backwards compatibility. You got all these studios and all these new games. You just make Microsoft, it would just make Xbox brand so good. It'd be like the next coming of the 360. That would work. That would work. It would be a fucking dirty tactic. It would be like sending a nuclear bomb off. That's probably a bad choice of words for Japanese companies, but it would send a nuclear bomb off. And I'm not saying to Nintendo they could be spared, because even though they're the Apple, the video game market, we still like Nintendo. And I'm like I said, I'm trying not to discredit Sony too much, but if you want those extra people to buy into your ecosystem again or come back, I know I'm just saying this out of my ass, but I think that would be a strong possibility that Microsoft would not be saying anything after. People would be like, okay, Microsoft's doing good by us. We're getting a console really cheap. We're getting a free game of our choice whenever we want, one free voucher, and it's an awesome little console. It's super powerful and fast and tons of memory, and there would be so much good PR for that thing as long as it doesn't red ring or anything or melts. But yeah, why not? Phil Spencer, Microsoft, give me a call. I'm Mr. Mike at OldFreakyGamer.com. Holy shit, I've been talking so long now about this stuff. Anywho, folks, that's my talk. That was my vision. Comment on when this part, email me at oldfreakygamer.com. That's all going to be one word here, oldfreakygamer.com. oldfreakygamer.com. It's all one thing for my email address. Email me and let me know what you think. Or better yet, you can go to the website at oldfreakygamer.com, make a comment, or you can comment on YouTube at /oldfreakygamer.com under this podcast, and you can comment on how crazy and stupid you probably think I am. Be like, you don't know shit about the video game business. You don't know nothing about business. No, who would ever do that kind of stupid shit? You can say that all you like, but think about it. It is stupid. It is the craziest, dumbest business move ever, but it would work. It would work. Because remember, a lot of people out there are very, very, very gullible in everything. And that would attune to their cheapness. And it'd be like, ooh, that cheap. That got free game on top of it, of choice. And I'm going to get it because it's small, it's cheap, it's got everything I want, it's got a lot of storage, and I can add more storage. I can even add my storage from my old console to that. Bada bing, bada boom, why not? And it's a PC on the side. Even though they don't really care, but they just mentioned it, it's a PC also on the side. If you want to use the Windows part of it, you can easily log into the Windows part of it. Wireless keyboard and mouse. You could do your word processing, graphic arts, whatever, business presentation, surf the web, whatever. You can do all that too. You can use it as a PC, full-blown PC on top of the console. Or you could do it both at the same time because it's such a powerful console. You could do the PC and the Xbox gaming all at one side, and you'd be like, that would sell. I think that would sell. But that's my 2 cents. Anyways, also, rumors been talking about how the new Xbox console will not be developed by the same designers. That some so-called rumored evidence suggested that the Surface teams are working on the next generation Xbox console. Now, given their track record with the Surface devices, they look really cool. They seem interesting. They do make them, nice and sleek and slim and possible. A lot of people seem to like their Surfaces. I wanted to get a Surface computer, tablet computer, or that Surface Book, but they're way too expensive for what I wanted out of them. But yeah, I don't know. They're a hardware team, and Microsoft did get rid of a lot of their hardware parts of their business, and I don't know. If that's what they're working on, or the Surface team is maybe working on the next generation on the portable Xbox that has been rumored. Maybe that's what the Surface team is going to be working on, if that's what the rumors are suggesting. So that's also been in that news. The final things we'll talk about here for the Xbox stuff, we'll talk about this before. Well, we can wait till the news. We'll wait till the news for these 2 Xbox stories. But, yeah, so like I said, there was not really that much more that they talked about in the Xbox podcast that was only 22 minutes long. And a lot of people said they didn't do enough messaging, that they were still being very vague on a lot of stuff. But here's the thing. If you're not getting your Starfield going elsewhere, if you're not getting your other first-party games going elsewhere, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If they're going to, and Phil Spencer says, these games will always come out on Game Pass first, for your Xbox and PC first, and down the road they could go to another console someday. Okay, who cares? So what's the big thing there? You know what I mean? So who cares? And they're going to still stay in the hardware business. Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass this March 28th. Things are looking good. even though it's been a little shaken up because people have been saying some bullshit and creating some bullshit. And like I said, those people should be nailed to the wall for that shit. If it was me, I'd be filing some cease and desist letters to some of these fucking people that just want the clicks, that are hurting the business in a way that they shouldn't be. But people don't do that unless if they do want behind the scenes. I don't know. But I'd be like, hey, do not say shit that you don't understand, that you don't know, that you're trying to make this big deal off of, and you're breaking Xbox consoles on videos and stuff and saying we're shutting down the Xbox business and the hardware business, because that's not true, and that's definitely false information. If you're saying, plus if they're saying it's true that they're getting out of the hardware business, and they're not saying, oh, this is just a rumor, but they're getting out of the hardware business, but it's just a rumor, and they're not letting people know that, they should get nailed to the wall for that. That's why I tell people, if you're going to watch, I don't watch these people. I don't know who these people are. I hear some podcasters say they know who they are and that they watch them or they listen to them. They're like, oh, this such and such guy is this guy, and he makes up stories. He's breaking Xbox consoles, and he's something, whatever dog, whatever dumbass, I'll call him dumbass dog, saying, you know what I say to dumbass dog? Go pee on yourself. Go back to your little hole in the ground. Go back to your mama's basements. You know, if it's a rumor, just like I say, if it's something, if I come out with something, or if I hear something, I come out with something, and I know it's a rumor, I tell you it's a rumor. I'm not just going to go out there, this is the truth. This is the truth and only the truth, and you got to listen to me. Now click here, click, click, click. Give me money. Give me ad money. No. Nope. Stupidity at its finest. And there's a lot of stupid people out there in the world nowadays. Nowadays, stupidity is very high. I see it everywhere I go. I see it where I work. I see it everywhere I go. Stupidity is its all-time high and finest. And, you know, stupid people do what stupid people do. They be stupid everywhere. Online, offline, doesn't matter. They'll break good counsels and whatnot just to try to get some clicks and try to make some easy money and whatever. You guys suck. If they were really getting out of the hardware business and they said it, I would report it. Or if I heard some rumors saying it, I'd say, hey, rumor has it they're getting out of the hardware business. I don't think they are. And I said that before. When I heard that, I'm like, I don't think they are. If they did, I'm like, well, that would be weird. That wouldn't make sense financially. You know, you got that. You got stuff to sell. But, hey, like I said, what do I know, right? I'm just some crazy guy talking about cheap Xboxes and free game vouchers and trying to get some big business to Microsoft's Xbox ecosystem here, you know? But the big thing we all want is big, nice games for our consoles. Nice, good games that we'll enjoy for long periods of time, or, you know, a period of time. They don't have to be super big. We don't have to make every game to be $300 million games. You know, they could be smaller. That's my other thing. Before we get out of this and we talk about some more stuff, before we get into the games that I've played and then the rest of the games news, because this podcast is going to be extra long this time. My other thoughts are in the gaming business, and I think I said this before, maybe, just maybe, and this is definitely what Microsoft should be doing, or they should listen to this and do what I'm suggesting, maybe hint at, maybe try out what I'm going to suggest here. Maybe if some of these big companies, these gaming publishers, instead of these developers and publishers making all these AAA super expensive games all the time, maybe they should make more cheaper games, great still, make them really fun and great, make them playable, maybe a bit smaller, you know, smaller, cheaper games. And then once in a while, when there's great ideas or very good ideas, and once in a while, and sometimes maybe these teams will have to prove themselves, can make these AAA titles, and they can make like one or a couple AAA titles at a time. And then after they make those big AAA tentpole titles and they make tons of money off them and stuff, then they go back and they take a little break and they make some smaller titles. They learn some stuff. They develop some other little cool games and stuff that sell really well and stuff. While, mind you, going back and, slowly developing their next AAA title. So when they can go back up to bat again, when it's their turn, then they can make that AAA super title again, in the future. So that's what game makers should do, or publishers and the games industry should do, especially for Microsoft with all those studios you got. How many of them are trying to make the biggest, most expensive games? They're taking forever, like that Xenoblade Saga game, that Hellblade 2. Like they said, that company, and excuse me for a second here. Am I back? It says I'm back. Okay, I'm recording again. I just had to wet my beak. My throat was getting super dry and stuff, and my mouth was crusting over. So disgustingly, I had to pause for a second so I didn't just go, I can't talk or breathe anymore. Okay, too much talking on my part. That's why I only do a podcast every 2 weeks, because it just hurts my voice every time I'm talking, especially when I do on top of video games, videos and stuff. Yes. I was talking about game development. So what Microsoft should do with all their game studios, and this is including Activision Blizzard now, they should take priority, because a lot of these games, like I said, Hellblade 2 has been in production for so long, and it's probably costing so much money for how much gain is going to come back for it. Now, I've started playing a little bit of the first game. It's okay. It's a good, decent game. It reminds me of some, like a little bit of something or other, but it looks great. Why? And I know this is going to be technically looking really good, but how many hours is this going to be, and how much money did you put into it, and work and time and stuff? Maybe after this Hellblade 2, maybe Phil Spencer and them should say, hey, now you guys got to start making some smaller games. You guys already ate up a whole budget for a huge game with Hellblade 2. It's time to ring you guys back a little bit. Make some small fun games, cheap fun games, and then we can publish them, and you can make something, and then you can come up with your next game idea. If it's a Hellblade 3, which, okay, if the Hellblade 2 does well, or it's something else, you'll have, can make some experiences and maybe update your game engines or whatever you're doing, and, save a little bit, bring that back a little bit. And then other studios can bring out their big games, and then they can ring themselves back, make some smaller titles, and then other studios, and then it can keep going around and around, up and down, depending on the studios and stuff. And some can make some big games, some can make some smaller games. And some studios just want to keep making small, great games. Like you got Double Fine. I don't know what they're with Tim Schafer and them are making. It's been very quiet and silent since Psychonauts 2 over there. But maybe they're making something crazy and easy. And then their game will come out. It'll be cheap, but it'll be crazy and easy, and it'll be fun, and they'll bring it out, and people will love it. And then you got some other studios that can make the bigger games sometimes and sometimes not, like the Call of Duties. I did like the idea that, this studio's making this big Call of Duty now. Maybe this studio will make the next big Call of Duty next time. And then you could go back and forth, whatever, or have 3 studios. And then maybe one of those studios can make some smaller games in some other genres at the time. And then when it's up to their time to make up to bat, they can make a bigger Call of Duty or whatnot. I know it sounds a little hard, but they got multiple studios at Activision Blizzard now that make many Call of Duty games, that all make Call of Duty games. And the recent Call of Duty, I hear, is garbage. It's hot garbage, and people don't like it, and it's not doing as well. So, and the next one, I don't know. They said they don't know which studio's making it or whatnot. It's all turmoil over there because, after you have that dictator that was Bobby Kotick running things over there and making things miserable for people and not doing good business over there for so long, things do unravel a bit. And then when Microsoft's trying to figure out how to wind that back up and make them better again, it takes a little bit of time to comb through those studios and make some good games. Plus, they can bring back all the old franchises, get some new games. I heard there might be a new Crash game in the future. I heard something about that. Maybe a new Crash game or something. That'd be interesting. Or Spyro. I don't know. I heard Crash, but it might be Spyro. I don't know. And stuff like that. And then you got the Blizzard side. I don't know which title. Maybe they got to make some smaller games sometimes and then make a bigger game because they just got Diablo 4 out. They still do World of Warcraft stuff. I don't know what they're planning with World of Warcraft. I think they're just keeping them to the side still. But that still makes some money. But they got to think of something to do. Maybe, whatever they're going to do next. I don't know. What else? They got Diablo. They got another StarCraft sometime. I don't know. What else besides Diablo and World of Warcraft. What else did they make? I'm trying to think of what else did they make over at Blizzard there. They made some other games, but maybe they got to think of some ways to keep costs down and make some decent games, maybe some smaller games on the side once in a while, but they can look really good. And then other times they can make bigger games again. Stuff like that. Sometimes you got to ring in some of these studios, save a little bit of money, and then push them back out later. They got to do a little bit of that. That needs to be done in those studios. And other third parties and like EAs and whoever else is a big company now out there, Sony, could see that and maybe do that for their companies as well a little bit, because then you could have better games, but they're smaller titles because not everybody wants to play open world games all the time. No matter what Yves Guillemot over at Ubisoft says, we want people to make these big triple, quadruple games, and they're going to be big. We're going to have open worlds. Not every game has to be a big open world and be very expensive and et cetera, et cetera. You can make them smaller sometimes. Sometimes I just want to play a smaller title like a Hi-Fi Rush or something and have some fun, and you can play that for 6 to 10 hours and then you're done, and then you could go to something else and whatnot. I know it's all about you got to keep the people on the game, you got to keep people in that ecosystem. It's like, isn't the platform the ecosystem? Isn't the Xbox the ecosystem? Isn't the PlayStation the ecosystem? Isn't the Switch the ecosystem? Again, this is for somebody that isn't in the industry fully, that's just a hobbyist, but I think I'm speaking in the right terms. I know a lot of people think what I say is crazy and stupid, but hey, doesn't it sound better? Doesn't it make it sound like, okay, sometimes we make some smaller games but better games, and then we make some big games sometimes when we come up with some good ideas, and we try to keep them in budget. It would be something a little tricky, but it could work, and then people would have more fun with more of their games. They'd buy more of their games. They'd make more money on their games. They can make some games with more loot stuff or whatever, or some extra purchases, DLC, whatever, So many possibilities out there to make money off your games, and I feel like they all want to try to hit the big players. They're trying to hit the big jackpots all the time, and look at Grand Theft Auto 6. That thing has ballooned out to way beyond enormous, and I am so worried to see, because I don't know, because I've been hearing rumors that maybe GTA might even get pushed back again, even though they said it's coming out next year sometime, and they haven't shown anything more than that little trailer. But it's like, why take so long to make this big giant game unless they got some good idea and this is going to be a good game? But then I worry, because I hear over that Take-Two with that Zelnick guy. I can hear him right now. Let's try to make this game an $80, $90 game instead of a $70 game. Let's try to get more money out of it because it's costing us a small fortune to make. Maybe you guys should have thought about that before you started making the biggest game. Maybe you could have had GTA 6 be the game where you could add things to it later, like new areas and stuff. They could work on it as the game goes out. Put in all these missions, put in all this stuff, and then continue on with the storyline and adding more areas to the game later. I don't know. That's just something they could have maybe did, but I don't know anymore. A lot of these people, they got grand visions, but they forget grand visions cost money. A lot of money. Okay, so why don't we get into talking about this little thing that I was bringing up, showing as a console-like thing. This ain't a console. This is a router. So what I've been doing, my friend wanted to, he's getting new internet next week. He's getting fiber in his area, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm like, well, how about if I sell you my older? It's not that old. It's like a year and a half old mesh TP-Link mesh system, the Delco. It's called the Delco or Deco. Sorry, the Deco. And I'm like, well, I want to get the newer Decos. I don't want to get I didn't buy the $600 Deco. They got like a $400 to $500? I think it was $400 or $500 Deco. This was like $200 to $300 Deco, and this is the Deco 6E. This is a tri-band Deco mesh router. So there's 3 of these suckers that I got. And it also comes with, instead of 2 ports on the back, it has 3 network ports in the back. Now, that's all gravy for me because I connect multiple networks and I have switches in the house and stuff because I switch to various servers and stuff like that throughout the house for media and a bunch of other devices and stuff that I have and computers and stuff in the house. And, you know, my house is a technology house. You know, I hook up the computer to the switch. I hook up my Xbox and stuff to these network switches and stuff. I'm hardwired, and I'm also like my Wi-Fi. And this Wi-Fi is a lot more powerful, a lot more strong. It will make my Wi-Fi that's great even better, especially for my Ring doorbells and stuff, because I got those too. It'll make my Wi-Fi go out farther around my house. It'll make it more powerful so I can download faster. So if I want to play like some online games on like my ROG Ally, this will be amazing. Watching videos, downloading, updating, stuff like that. These will do it. Plus, these are very good and secure. Like I said, a little expensive, but it was something that I really, really wanted. And my friend, he wanted to get a Wi-Fi mesh system because he likes mine. And I said, I'll just sell you mine. Selling mine to him for $150. So he's going to get my older ones. I'm going to get this. I got this nice new one that just came in today. I'm going to set it up after I get done with the podcast and after I make my dinner and stuff. I'm going to set it all up. And, yeah, it comes with 2-year warranty. It says it goes up to, here's the box. Don't know if you can read it. 5.4 gigabytes per second, up to 7,200 feet range. I got an older house, so my house is mostly made out of wood, a little bit of metal, but mostly wood and stuff. So Wi-Fi signals goes through the walls very nicely. And my older system went up to 5,000 square feet around there. This goes up to 7,200 square feet, apparently, up to 200 devices it connects up to. Like I said, I didn't want to get the more expensive 400 whatever plus $1 edition because that edition, even though it has Wi-Fi 7 in it, I don't need that because I don't got too many devices with Wi-Fi. You know, Wi-Fi 7 is still new. I got some devices with Wi-Fi 6, but I didn't need that. And this felt like a lot better. So I like to usually go one for routers and stuff. I like to go one capability behind because it's been out longer. And I like TP-Link. They're very good with their Wi-Fi mesh systems. This is by TP-Link, of course. And this is going to be better for gaming, a whole bunch of stuff, less dead zone killer. You know, they call it the dead zone killer. It's really good for security, stuff like that. So if you're a gamer and you got my house ain't that big. It's like 1,000 something feet of a house. And this goes up to 7,200 feet. That kills all the dead zones. That does it and then you can put it in 3 parts. I got one upstairs, I got one in the middle of the house here, and then I got the main one in the downstairs. It's really going to be better. Plus, my old TP-Link system, my one that's a year and a half old, that was only a dual mesh system. This uses a tri-band. The other one was a dual band. So meaning what it means to be tri-band and not dual band means you get another pipeline for data and stuff. So it makes the data transfers between your devices and between all 3 of these routers a lot faster. Mainly the routers. The devices get the benefit because they get more data going through them faster to the router and stuff. But the data going between the routers is better, so there's less congested because you got that extra lane. You got that 3rd lane highway, you would say, for data to go between all 3 of these devices. So that's another reason why I wanted to get these, because I wanted, even though mine work just fine, these are going to work a lot better. I even got a new caddy for this too, for the downstairs, because these are just a little bit bigger, a little bit wider than my original decos. So I bought a new caddy, and this will fit right in the caddy, and I just plug in my stuff, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be it's going to take a little while to set up because I got so many devices, especially the Ring doorbells and stuff that I got to put online. I got to put my thermostat online and stuff, and it's going to take a little bit because all the Wi-Fi devices that I got to put online. But in the end, these things are going to be super powerful. They're going to increase speeds across everything. And I got a lot of wireless devices and a lot of hardware devices, a lot of the hardware devices. And plus the back end, very secure, very nice. I love it. Has an app where I look at the app and I can see what devices are connected to it, what are not connected to it, what I want connected, what I don't want connected, what's using up the bandwidth, what's not, and add that to my gigabit internet that I got here in Cheektowaga. It just makes it all better for me for gaming and all that stuff. So something that I wanted to do. It's something I really wanted to add into this stuff, which reminds me, I got to also get some of my data settings from my original Delcos so I can program them into these new Delcos, because I also got my Minecraft server that's going to need to get its permissions and special permissions logged on to the thing if I want to ever use that thing and stuff. So a lot of things I got to do behind the scenes, but to set it up. But that's something new I just got, and it cost me around a little over $300, but it was worth it. Plus that $150 that I'm getting from my friend, right back on the credit card. So, something I wanted to quickly talk about what I got, because it's gonna make game downloads and stuff faster for like my ROG Ally and stuff like that and everything else. So I'm very happy about it. I can't wait to use it. Let's see what else here. What else was I gonna talk about? I'll talk about this because I'm going to be talking about this stuff in the games that I have played in the past week. So why don't I get that all things set up? So here is the games that I played in the past weeks.
The games that have been played in the past week.
That's a good game.
Enjoy your gaming.
Enjoy your gaming. That's a good game. I like putting that stuff on there. So I played a bunch of stuff, as you can probably tell if you look at the show notes of the podcast. And I played a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go quickly through some stuff because you already know some of the games that I've been playing. Of course, I've been continuing with my Yakuza Like Me series with Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Been playing that on my ROG Ally and my PC. I think I'm at, what am I, in chapter 7 or 8 or something around now? I think it's chapter 7. Still breaking the early stages of it, and still got a lot of stuff to do and go on. But I'm at a point where later today, if I get a chance, I'll play more of it so I can set up the next episode for Wednesday. And then Friday, I was playing another game, so I didn't have a or Yakuza Like Me live stream. But this upcoming Friday, I will be back doing my Yakuza Like Me live stream with another episode of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, of course. But also Wednesday this week, I will have that non-live episode of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Yakuza Like Me episode. So I do 2 episodes a week, 1 taped, 1 live. So I will be back to doing that. Still amazing, great game. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of not super sad, but it's going to be semi-sad when I beat it all and I'm done playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I play a lot of it, but I'm sure there's more Yakuza coming around the corner because, Ryogoku Studios, they're pumping these games out like crazy. So I'm pretty sure there'll be something around the corner. Plus, I got all the other older Yakuza games that I can get, my backlog of old Yakuza games I could get back into and play them on my ROG LA and play through them. I got Kiwami 2 that I'm going to start playing after that and stuff. Plus, I got other games that I'm going to want to play before I get back into that stuff. So there's still a lot to play before they do that. So I'm not too worried about it. And there's still a lot of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth because it goes up to 14 chapters. So not too worried, but still a great game. Plays amazingly well. And it's one of those really big games that, funny thing, that Ryogoku Studios didn't take them that long to make, if you think about it, between the last one with Yakuza 7, and then they did Like a Dragon, the Man Who Erased His Name, in between game, a smaller game, in between that, while they're working on Infinite Wealth. And they got that out last year around December, and then this came out this year. It's like, how come they can pump out these big, nice games in a shorter time period, but all these other people can't? Maybe some people should take some lessons from Ryogoku Studios over at Sega and figure out how to make these nice, bigger games, even if you use some of the same assets, even if you go back to certain. Why don't other people do the same thing? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Also been back and forth in and out of Tekken 7 on the Series X. Hence when I get back into my Series X gameplay. Having fun fighting. It's not Tekken 8. I hear Tekken 8 is amazing. Eventually I'll get Tekken 8 down the road when it's really cheap, because I don't need to play it right away. I got plenty of fighting games. I got plenty of Tekken 7 to still play. I got plenty of other fighting games to play. So it's not something that I need to play and right away, but Tekken 7, damn good fighting game. I'm telling you, damn good fighting game. And another damn good fighting game or building game, Palworld. Been playing it on the ROG Alley and the PC and having fun catching pals, building up my superstructure, which I built up a new one. I moved everything around from the last time, and I've been just getting supplies, building up my arsenals, killing bad guys, slowly expanding the world in the PAL world, because it's just me. I'm not playing with anybody else. And I've just been having a lot of fun with that. It's still Pokemon with guns, even though I don't have any guns for my Pokemon. I don't even know how to give them the guns. How do you give, or do they get special guns? Because I unlocked some guns. I unlocked I'm using my crossbow now. I got that crossbow, and that thing is damn powerful. I got to be careful with that, because if I shoot like an arrow on some of these pals, they just die instantly on most of these pals. Now, the bigger pals, sure, it takes a little bit more hits, but they eventually go down too, and it's like, wow, this crossbow is pretty damn powerful, and it's just your basic one. I got some flame arrows, but I don't know how to use them with the crossbow. I'm still figuring it out, because I have the Xbox PC version of this game. I know a lot of people say, well, that's behind the Steam version and stuff, and I'm like, oh well, so what? I'm getting achievements eventually out of it, so I don't care, and it still plays damn good. A few wonky things with the building mode, but like building stairs and stuff is weird. Like it's not letting me build stairs in my structure. I had to take out the floor to build stairs going from the first floor to the second floor, which doesn't make no sense, but Maybe it's something they got to fix in the game. I don't know. But it's still fun. Still having a blast with Palworld. I get in it once in a while. I play a bit of it, play a bit of that. It's just one of those games where you could jump in and jump out at any time. It's a leisure game. And it's damn well worth that $30 that I paid for it, too. I paid $30 for it. It's worth it. It's worth every penny. Could play on my PC, could play on my Raw Gallery. It plays great on both. Been playing some other PC Game Pass games, trying them out. I played some golf with friends. Not my forte. Not very good at all the trickery of the golf thing anymore. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me getting older. But I was trying to play it, and then I just really fell off of it, so I deleted it. But it's a Game Pass game, so that's okay. And I had some fun with it, what I could do, but then I was getting some tricky sequences, and I couldn't get it. So, but I was playing a little bit of it. It looks good, and it's probably better when you're playing with friends, not just by yourself. But oh well, maybe I'll go back to playing Tiger Woods games again. Or what are they called? Aren't they PGA Tour games now? I don't know. Haven't heard about them in a while. The other fighting game that I've been going back and forth on and playing a lot of on my Raw Gallery, Killer Instinct, which they did update, I guess, but I just been playing, the bare bones. I don't play online with it. I haven't tried playing online with it. I should try playing online because there's a lot of achievements I could get playing online with Killer Instinct. Maybe when I get the new mesh system up and running, maybe I'll have such a good signal that I'll be able to play easily online with that. Because right now, maybe I wouldn't be. I might have still an advantage. It's not like my Wi-Fi system now is bad. It's pretty damn good. But been playing some Killer Instinct. Having fun with that. I heard they've been doing some updates and testing for like, what do you call it? For cross plays and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on with that, but I guess they were doing it this weekend or something. I don't know more about that, but Killer Instinct. That would be a nice, good game that they could put multi-platform. I know people are going to hate on me for saying that, but Killer Instinct would be a good fighting game for Microsoft to put multi-platform. Think about it. Us battling the Xbox people and the Switch people. Imagine. They would be putting Killer Instinct in tournaments and stuff. Because I hear people like to play those fighting games on a PlayStation. I don't know why, but they do. And it can't be the controller because Xbox controllers are the best. They're amazing. They're the best. So I don't know. And those PlayStation 4 and 5 controllers just, too small. Too bright. Battery life bad. I tried out a little Jusant. That's that climbing game. I tried a little bit on the Raw Gallery. It runs great. The game, not so fun. I did not have any fun with it. I tried it out. I did a little bit of climbing. I did a little bit of stuff. I just did not get it. I just did not get it at all. I understand what it's all about, but I just couldn't get it. I couldn't wrap my mind around the game. And I was just not having any fun. I heard a lot of people talking about the game, saying, oh, it's such a great game. It's so much fun, blah, blah, blah. We beat it. And I was just playing. I'm like, I get it. I really do get it. But no, I don't want to play it anymore. I just really don't. So I played it a bit, tried it out, because everybody says it was great and stuff, and they wanted people to play it. And me, I'm just like, yeah, I put another pin in here. Oh, here I go. I'm going to climb some more. Oh, got to wind up the rope. I'm going to wind up my line. Oh, trying to find the next place to go climbing and stuff to do. And it's just like, okay, I get it. Delete. Sorry. It's not for everybody, but not every game is for everybody. It's just like the golf with friends. It's not for everybody. Then, I started up and I've been playing just a little bit. I played like a day or so of it. Some Persona 3 Reload on my Raw Gallery, which plays damn well good. It's a dark game. It's a dark, super goth, dark, suicidal, damn good game so far. Boy, is it dark. It is a dark game. Gun up to head. Poof! Persona! Oh. Yes, I heard about that, and I'm like, okay, because it's on Game Pass for Persona 3 Reload. It's on Game Pass right now. Or else you got to spend $70 on it because that's what they charge, right? It's not 60, it's 70, right? I think it's 70. And I'm like, for a game that's a remastered game like this, you want full price for it? I'm like, well, at least it's on Game Pass because, like I said, I think Microsoft has a deal. I don't know if I think they just have a deal with Sega in general, but with these studios as well, with Goku and Atlas, I think they have a deal where they can get these games day one on Game Pass for that reasons for most of the games, or else eventually some of these games come out on Game Pass. But wow, Persona 3 Reload is pretty good. And I'm like, I was going to go back to Persona 4 Golden, but now I'm thinking Golden's like old. So I'm like, I'm going to go back and play some more Persona 3 Reload. But I'm only going to dabble in it until I finish Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and then I'm going to get back into Persona 3 Reload really deep, really far into. Then I'm going to go fully into Persona 3 Reload, I think, after I beat Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That's going to be something I get to playing more so over time, because graphics, the gameplay, the sound, it's just really good. And it plays really good on my ROG Ally, so I don't have to play on my big expensive PC. I don't have to play on my Xbox. I can watch a TV show or a movie on the or put it on the background or whatever, nothing at all. I can lay on my couch or in my bed at night and play a little bit of Persona 3 Reload and get my goth on. Because damn. And damn, is these kids in college or school? Because if this is like school, dorming in school, because I thought it was college, but it seems like they're in regular school and they're dorming, and it's a co-ed dorm, and this guy's got these two hot chicks that he's dorming up with. Fuck. Yep, animated chicks are damn good. Okay, that's where I go. Then the final game that I've been playing, and this game I am not playing anymore, and I'm hoping I get my refund in it, because they said it's going to take up to 72 hours. What's this say? Nope, that's not it. They said it's going to take up to 72 hours before I know if I'm going to get my refund, which I'm hoping I do, because I hardly played this game. And even though I pre-ordered it back in October, and it came out February 14th on Valentine's Day, but it was no game that I'm loving. And I hate to say that because I do love Tomb Raider. I love Lara Croft so much. I love her. I'm a big supporter of her. Not just because she's sexy as hell and she's bootylicious, but she's independent as hell, even in the newer games when she's scared of her mind and she's learning stuff. But she's badass as hell. She's capable. She's self-independent, which she learns by stuff by herself. She gets some help sometimes, but she's independent as hell still. She's got the right tone. She's the person that women should be like. And I'm not saying with the big boobs and the nice short shorts and stuff like that, acting all sexy. I'm talking about she's independent, she's strong, she can do stuff herself. She don't really need other people, but she doesn't mind having other people with her, but she's a kind, generous soul. She's Lara Croft. She can do stuff. And with this remastered collection that I pre-ordered before and I got now, and I played just a couple hours, and you can watch my video. The video's up. My first gameplay of Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered collection. I am so sad and ashamed to say this game collection sucks major ass. It is horrible. And I'm not saying the graphics. The graphics are okay. They like I said, they remastered them a little bit. They still look they look a little bit worse than what they did with the GTA graphics and stuff. But Lara Croft and you'll see it in my video, from old Laura to new Laura. Old Laura looks like Grandma Laura. If you look at her in the beginning of my video, she looks like Grandma Laura. She looks scary. And then you look at new Laura, she's like Lara Croft of the 360 era, I'm going to say. She's that Lara Croft. That's how they put her in this game, is that Lara Croft, the 360 one, because it's easier to map that 360 Lara Croft on, and she looks decent. She looks really good. The controls, even if I do the modern controls, because you can do the old tank controls, you could do modern. They start you off with tank, and that was horrible, and at least, that was definitely horrible. I'm like, I don't got a PS1 controller. I don't need tank controls. And going to modern, sure, it helps things, but nothing works right. Nothing. Try to jump and grab a ledge? Nope. Hit the action key? Nope. 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 You want to jump up and pull yourself up? Nope. You're going to have to do that 1,000 times. And I barely played these before. I dabbled in the Tomb Raider games. Like, I have the original Tomb Raider games on my should I say my special device, on my backwards special device, which I can play, or I can play them on my PlayStation 1 Classic. I can play the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 games. So I dabbled in them, and you got the original controller, so it makes sense playing it with that, and they seem to play a lot better. These collection, I tried to play the first level of the first game. Took me over 2 hours to play that first level of the first game. There is no direction. You can't really, and I'm not just saying figure out. I figured it all out. You can't get to places because you can't easily get to them because the camera whips back at you half the time. You're jumping and trying to grab ledges and stuff, and it won't let you do it. Or even if you do just the walk and not the regular Laura running thing, and you're just walking, trying not to fall off someone, sometimes when you stop, she don't stop, and she goes over a ledge, and then she falls to her death, and so on and so on and so on. And there's so much clipping through walls and this and that, or sometimes when the camera does flip out of control and you're like overhead or whatever, when you try to get it back to normal, you can't move Laura at all. She gets stuck for some reason. You got to jiggle the camera and stuff around a bunch of times before you can get Laura unstuck, if you can get her unstuck, just to move around the environments. There's so much bad stuff with this game. And then I tried to play the second Tomb Raider game to see maybe if it was a little bit better. That was even worse. I tried to go up this one ledge. I tried to go up this one part. So many times she would just fall off. I'm like, no, just stay here. Nope, falls off. Trying to jump. Oh, there's the wall and the camera's flipping. Oh, it makes it virtually almost impossible to play that game. And then when I finally got up to the point, I'm like, where do I go? I can't go up there because it's all the slidey holes. It's all the slidey terrain. Slidey terrain over here. And it doesn't give you any hints or it doesn't show you anywhere to go. And it's like, it's so rudimentary. It's like, wow, this is really bad. It's just really bad gameplay. It was so bad that I was just laughing at the end of it. I was just like, this is so bad. And it was so bad, I said, I'm returning this game. I'm getting a refund for this game no matter what. So I called up Microsoft support this morning, talked to a guy. I wish it was a female. And I tell you this is why I say I wish it was a female customer service agent. Because the women customer service agents, and this is a big plus for your women, you speak so much nicer. You speak better, you speak nicer, and you listen. The men that do customer service on these support places like Xbox and stuff, even though I'm in a hurry and I just want to get this done, refunded, whatnot, because it wasn't showing up on my Xbox, on my account, showing me that I can return it or anything, even though I haven't played it that much. I'm wondering if that's because I pre-ordered it since October, but you couldn't play it till, Wednesday of February 14th of this month. So it's not like I was playing any of it for that long, but I just pre-ordered it because it was on sale. But talking to the guy and he seemed a little impatient, even though I told him I'm right at the place where I should be to get it. And he's like, oh, go down to this and that. You have to go through you had to go literally through like, I'll say 5 different areas on the Xbox website to get to a form if you want a refund for a game that's not showing up on the list, which why isn't it not showing up on a list for available refunds is beyond me. It seems like a little bit of a loopholes that they're doing over at Microsoft. And I even said this to the guy, I'm like, well, you guys are making it a little bit more difficult than it should be to find this form. It should be like on the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen says, oh, if you can't find your game in this list, or if this game ain't showing up as refundable on this list, here, click here. This will take you to a form. There you go. They don't have that. You got to jump through a few hoops. You got to go through a few menus, and then you finally find the thing that says, oh, put this down, put your order number down, do this, mention why it's bad, blah, 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 why you want to refund it and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I put down every little glitch that I found in it, everything that pissed me off about it. I filled that form up quite nicely with all the bads of that game, the clipping, the jankiness, the world stuff. And then I couldn't, in the second game of the Tomb Raider game, I couldn't even get out of the game. I had to just close out the Xbox menu thing to get out of it. I'm like, this game was completely still bad and broken or something, or what did they do to remaster it? It's a disappointment. And I hated to say that. And I hated to say I wanted to give this up, but this Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered Collection, as of right now, unless that they fix it down the road, because you know a lot of people complained about the GTA Collection being such a broken mess, the Remastered GTA Collection, even though I felt it was quite fine when I started playing them. When I started playing them when they came out, I played them day one. I'm like, okay, they're shitty in this game. There's a lot of shit in this game, but they're playable. They're still fun. So I didn't have a problem. And then over the time, they did fix a lot of stuff. They did a lot of fixing of the GTA Remastered Collection, and they did a lot of updating the graphics and everything else. And they made it really, I think, really good now. They're really, really good. I've got to go back to those again. But, you know, over time they did it. I don't know if they're going to do that with Aspire. I think Aspire helped make this remaster. It wasn't just Crystal Dynamics. And don't forget who Crystal Dynamics and Aspire are under. They're under the Embracer Group. So there's no more money. There's no money to be had on fixing broken games, fixing up this remastered collection, you know, doing patches work. Maybe they could do a little bit of patching and stuff, but I don't think they're going to have much of a leeway to fix anything major in this game, like with the camera and the stuff going on in this game. And it's sad because Laura deserves better, because these are the first 3 games, and I was so excited for so long. I'm telling people at work, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play Tomb Raider 1 through 3, Tomb Raider 1 through 3. Originally, I thought I was going to be playing these on my ROG Ally, because I thought when I purchased it on Xbox.com that it said, oh, play this on PC or Xbox. And then later, when I was going to, you know, download, I'm like, where is it on PC? On PC, Xbox. And I look, I'm like, it only says Xbox. And I'm like, I could have sworn it said PC or Xbox when I pre-ordered it, but I guess not. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll play on just the Xbox, whatever. It'll give me another reason to play my Xbox. And then I was so upset and sad that these games are just garbage. The Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered Collection is just garbage. Horrible. I'd rather go back to the old tank-controlled games on the PlayStation Mini that I got here, the PlayStation Classic that I got here, because I bet they run better. Oh, it was so bad. I was like, okay, Laura looks good. She can do some jumps and dips and dives. She even did the one thing where I actually did get her up on a ledge, and she pulled herself up one time. She only did this one time where she pulled herself up really slowly. She did a handstand, and then she had her legs split off, and then she did her super athletic, acrobatic stand, which she does in some of these games. And she only did it once for me, and it's in the video. She only did it one time. And I couldn't reproduce that any other time. And I'm like, that's what it could be. It could be really good. And I could have had fun in these games, even that second game. And I got so close to beating that first level in that first game, but I died when I got slit up because she froze and she couldn't go anywhere and she just got sliced and diced. And I'm like, I'm done. Because you got to restart the whole level again. They don't even have like little checkpoints they didn't put any checkpoints or save spots like, oh, save this here, or it automatically saves when you get this part door unlocked or something, do something to get this unlocked and you can progress. No, you got to start the whole freaking level over again from the beginning. And I'm like, oh, hell no. And I tried playing like 3-4 times. It is a horrible collection. They did lure up nicely. She looks beautiful, but the collection, horrible. Had some fun and funny moments in the beginning, but then I was just like, at the end, you just see my eyes like this. If you're watching the video podcast version of this, I'm like, this is garbage. And I'm like, I don't ever really ask for refunds, even for bad games. I can play bad games and buy bad games and play bad games and still have fun in bad games or decent games and stuff. But this is so bad. I'm like, and because Microsoft does have a refund system, like very few do nowadays, but I'm hoping that thing becomes more of a thing. But especially if a game's really broken and bad, and this is not just bad, this is just broken and bad. This is unplayable. For me, other people have been playing it. I don't know how they're playing it because I play a lot of platformers. I play a lot of other stuff, and this is just bad. And I'm like, I need a refund for this. I want my $30 back. I'll put it to a better game. And then down the road, if they do eventually somehow figure out a way to get some extra money or whatever they got to do to fix up this remastered collection, and they do fix it up nicely and people say it's better, maybe I'll come back to it. But I haven't been hearing anything because it came out Wednesday and I was listening to all these gaming podcasts. I heard maybe one little thing about, oh, I haven't checked them out, but they came out, the Tomb Raider Remastered Collection. I got to check those out. Whew. I'm wondering what people are going to say about it because I didn't hear much about it at all. And you think for Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, having a remastered collection come out on Valentine's Day of all days, you'd think it would be a big love event for all horny gamers out there wanting to play with Lara Croft in these dungeons again and stuff, but it was bad. They were bad. I'm like, wow. I was so upset. So sad and upset. I tell you guys, so sad and upset. And it's so horrible what they did and didn't do. I don't know. I'm guessing they tried, but I don't know. Like I said, they're under the Embracer Group and all that stuff, and I'm wondering if a lot of stuff got cut back. It is a poor excuse for a remaster collection. I highly, highly, highly right now recommend do not go out and pick it up. If it comes on Game Pass, maybe try it someday. Or somewhere else. If it's free somewhere else, try it out. But otherwise, do not pay to play this. No, don't waste $30 on this game. There's better games out there. This Tomb Raider Remastered Collection 1 through 3 is just, ugh. It makes the latest Tomb Raider game, what was it? Was it Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Or what else was it? Was it Shadow of the Tomb Raider? It was the very last Tomb Raider game made recently, before this new upcoming one coming up. But there was that last major one that came out. That was bad, but at least it was playable. It was just boring throughout the middle of the game. I don't even remember beating that game, but I think I might have. But I might not have beaten that Tomb Raider game. But it was just so boring. It got so boring because there was no enemies. There was nothing to really do. I didn't understand what else to do, but it was just boring. But it wasn't bad in the way of broken. But this is just broken. Like I said, the GTA collection, they were broken and bad at the beginning, but they were playable. They were playable. And they weren't as bad as what people were touting. This is bad. enough said. If you guys got any comments or questions about Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered Collection, feel free to email me at oldfreakygamer@gmail.com or comment on this podcast at youtube.com/oldfreakygamer under this podcast, or just email me, or go to my website at oldfreakygamer.com and make a comment. You can do it any way you want. It's up to you. Now, why don't we get into the rest of the podcast? Let's finish this bad boy up because it's getting pretty long, this podcast, and I want to get to doing some other stuff and eat and a whole bunch of other stuff. So why don't we get into the rest of the gaming news, because there's nothing more else I got to talk about. I talked about pretty much everything else, from Microsoft to Tomb Raider to my Deco Wi-Fi mesh system. I think it's time to talk some gaming news. So let's get into the gaming news, shall we? I think we shall. Whoops. There we go.
The games news from the past week.
Had that. Eventually, I gotta update these things and make it for the past weeks. Unless if I go back to doing a weekly podcast, so maybe not. I don't know. I haven't updated them, but anywho, we got some more gaming news that I want to talk about before we close out the podcast here. I don't have no emails or anything else, so I don't really care. There was one guy that commented when I was doing my stream on Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered Collection last night. One guy commented, he's like, "Are you drunk?" I don't know if he was commenting because I was drinking some alcohol and he saw the bottle of alcohol, or he was just looking at me playing the game and seeing me going, "Ah, ah, 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 ah." But it was just me going, because the game was so broken and bad. Like I said, in the beginning of the game, when you go to the Croft Mansion and you play around and fool around in that, they got some interesting things. Like you could go to the camera demo mode where you can change your clothes, you can change your face styles and stuff, and it was like really weird and it was really fun to do. I was having her pose and stuff. That was pretty funny. That was probably the best thing that the game had to offer. I hate to say that, but it was the only thing that game had to offer. But guys like, "Are you drunk?" And I'm like, "No, I wish I was. Maybe this game would be funner, because this game is really bad. These games are really bad. Remastered Collection, really bad." Anyway, this happened, what was it, last week, the week prior? This was before the turmoil that was Xbox and, they're shutting down the Xbox division and the hardware and all that bullshit came up. But they laid off a bunch of people. Microsoft, laid off a bunch of people, whole bunch of people. What was it, 1,600 people or 1,900 jobs across the Xbox studios, including Activision Blizzard, of course. That's to be expected when they got, things going on and they got quotas to meet, and that's a big acquisition, and you don't need that many people on so many jobs. But a bunch of the people that got laid off and a studio basically closed, and I don't know why they did this. I wonder if it's because it was in California and maybe they didn't want to deal with California or something. I don't know. But I'm sure it didn't have nothing really to do with that, because you got, I'm sure, other Activision Blizzard studios in California as well. So I don't know why they closed down. But Microsoft, Xbox laid off and closed up the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro developer Toys for Bob, which they also did Skylanders and stuff like that, but they're recently mostly known for the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, especially the remakes, which they did very good on. Those remakes are really fun. And Skylanders I never played, but they looked fun to play. And they laid off the 86 workers, I guess, that are from San Francisco, or the office was in Novato, California. So the studio is closing, the facility is closing, the 86 workers are getting pink slips, unless if they're going to other parts of the company. I don't know if they got offered other positions in other studios or anything, because that could happen as well. We don't know the inner talks or inner workings of that. They could be getting new positions elsewhere. Who knows? But pretty much they're getting laid off. And they're closing the studio that I thought was gonna stay open, because I thought they were gonna work on the new Spyro or Crash Bandicoot games or something, or doing some other stuff. I was thinking maybe they would revive Skylanders or something again. They did some pretty good work on games, with the Toys for Bob thing. And didn't they also do or help in Tony Hawk thing as well? Or was that no, that was another studio. But I thought maybe Toys for Bob helped out a little bit. I don't know. But I thought they were a decent team. Let's see here. Like I said, I thought they did a decent job on all that stuff, and it's sad to let that go, because Toys for Bob was well known, and they're gone. I don't have much more to say about it. Like I said, it's just the office closure. I don't know if they're going elsewhere within the company or not, but that's what they announced, and that's what happens when you get purchased. When a big company gets purchased by another big company, there's people they got to chew the fat, got to cut the fat. Which that, along with the 1,900 layoffs, piqued the FTC antennas a bit, getting them to be all riled up again, saying, hey, this is why we didn't want you to purchase Activision Blizzard. You promised that you wouldn't cut any jobs, blah, 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 or some bullshit like that. They're rebel-rousing themselves because they really didn't want Activision Blizzard to get purchased by Microsoft, because it's a big company, and then they're making them a bigger company, and it's bad, and the FTC's trying to file lawsuits and injunctions to the Supreme Court and everybody else in the government, saying, hey, Microsoft's doing bad here. They're firing all these 1,900 people, which most of them are coming from probably Activision Blizzard as well, and throughout their studios. See, they're doing bad. They're doing harm. They shouldn't let this acquisition go through. We got to cancel this thing as of now, because I don't like big business, because I am Miss Khan, or whatever her name is, Tony Khan, whatever, Khan, or whatever I'm trying to look for a stupid name, but something Khan, I know that, but she doesn't like it. She hates big business. She hates all that stuff. She's a part of the Democratic regime that is the Biden regime, and she don't like big business and all that, even though what builds up the world, people? Big businesses. You either hate them or like them. They build up the world in a way, especially big tech. They build up the world. They bring us some stuff. You might not like it when they do bad stuff, but hey, I can understand slapping them if they closed down all of Activision Blizzard and fired everybody, and they just took all the IPs and stuff. That would have been a bad thing. That would have been pretty bad. That would have been like a big no-no. But, cutting the fat for most of the people that they know that they don't need, or they got plenty of people of, and, all the other positions, then, who cares? And then, the FTC's got nothing better else to do. They got all these big telecoms, and they still got these internet companies and cable companies and satellite companies and all these other people, Amazon, Google, that are doing more malicious stuff, doing worse stuff out there, and you're worried about Microsoft and a gaming division and a gaming, which does nothing to anybody. Sure, it could do people to their jobs, understood. Yeah, 1,900 people are getting laid off and they don't have a job, but that's part of the bad part of the business. That is what happens with every company, and every other company's firing even more and more people. We'll even talk about our great friends in Embracer, because of course they got more shit. Always got more news stories for me. But what do you expect? And the FTC's got nothing better to do than wasting taxpayer money going after stupid things for companies. Go after Microsoft for something else. If they're doing some harm and bad in something else, technology-wise, that affects us as people, yes. Like if they did something really heinous in Windows and you had to pay to use Windows every day, yes, go after them for that. But don't go after them for this. And I know a lot of people will disagree to me about this, and they'll say, no, you're wrong, Mr. Mike. These people should have had jobs still, and we're losing jobs, blah, blah, blah. We don't know how many of those people are going to get put or placed elsewhere or get jobs elsewhere in the company. You know, they're going to have first dibs if there's open places and studios within Microsoft. And Microsoft and Xbox still need a lot of people making games. And they need more of these people to make these games because, you know, these games are getting bigger and bigger all the time, and they're needing that extra help to get these games out the door, made and out the door. I don't think, you know, a lot of these got to be like, you know, product planning, merchandising, this and that, you know, legal, this, you know, all the other things that Microsoft doesn't need because they got all that extra stuff. They got all that extra PR and stuff. So they don't really need that stuff. Now, yes, some of these people are game developers, but are they the game developers that they're looking for to keep in the ecosystem that is Microsoft and Xbox? Sony does it. Nintendo does it. Everybody does it. EA does it. You know, you're going to Activision Blizzard said personally, the people that are running the Activision Blizzard part now, they even said, we were about to lay off all these people anyways in the company. We were about to lay off a whole bunch of people anyways because we didn't meet our financial goals because the latest Call of Duty tanked on us. It was super bad and it tanked. So we were going to lay people off anyway. So, yeah, okay, yeah. So don't blame, Microsoft isn't to blame. So I don't know. It's hard to say. There's goods, there's bads. You know, we've been seeing a lot of bads, you know, too many people being laid off, all this other stuff. Elsewhere, people are being laid off like crazy, but that's the world we live in. People make too big of bets during a time when it's uncertain, and they make big bad bets because you got stupid people making stupid decisions on the top, and then it just filters throughout the rest of the companies, and the shit happens. And this is all during when Microsoft was fighting the FTC and people trying to get this Activision Blizzard deal through, and they were getting cock blocked every time. So the deal, they even said, Microsoft says, hey, throughout this whole year and some change that you guys been cock blocking us, this deal has been changing constantly because we had to make the deal newer and newer with Activision Blizzard to acquire them, and with people like the UK and stuff like that. And that's what happens. And the FTC's like, oh, no, that's bad. Well, here's the thing. Eventually, when a certain somebody named Trump gets back into office, which everybody's freaking out about, and I'm not going to be too political here, but when a certain somebody like Trump gets back into office, I'm pretty sure the head of the FTC is going to be going bye-bye. Some policies are going to change. Things are going to change. Who knows what we'll get next in line with all these government officials. And when that happens, all that stuff's going to go out the door. We might get a better FTC for corporations and stuff. Who knows? I don't know. I've given up on, corporate greed and corporate bad corporate things. Look at Amazon. They're doing the worst of the worst. They're charging for every little thing. They raised my Ring doorbell prices up $10 a subscription. For what? Nothing. For a basic subscription, $10 it went up per device. And on top of it, they want you to pay to get rid of commercials. So you got to pay another $3 on top of your subscriptions to Amazon Prime. Even though you're paying like $160 damn for Prime, you got to pay another $3 on top of that to get rid of subscriptions, which I'm not doing. And I don't even have Prime. Well, I kind of have Prime now because I'm on a a trial basis because they wanted me to come back for a trial basis. But before the end of that trial basis, I'm just not doing Prime anymore until the next free trial, if they give me another free trial. But it doesn't really matter. I just chose the free trial because then I could get my deco a lot sooner than later. But yeah, there's companies that are doing a lot more scrupulous things. Google, Amazon, Facebook, Comcast, Verizon, Spectrum. Spectrum is actually going the way of the dodo around here because Fios and other fiber companies are coming in like crazy, and Spectrum's just going bye-bye, which they deserve. But still, there's much bigger things out there that people could be going after and worrying about this stuff. It's bad because there are a lot of people who are losing jobs, but it's also a reset. And hopefully when everything gets reset in the business world, maybe things will get better. Maybe these companies and these leaders will learn something. Not that I think they will, but you can hope. I think I talked about this before, but maybe people can learn. Unless if you get some government intervention where it's like, okay, you guys are going to fire this many people. You got to keep them on the payroll and have better benefits for them for at least a year or something or whatever, make a new law or something, not firing so many people all at once. I don't know, do it in batches or something every couple months. Maybe that's something they could do so people can have a better chance of getting jobs. I don't know. It's all messed up. It can happen anywhere. It can happens at Burger King. It can happen at McDonald's. It can happen anywhere. It can happen anywhere. Walmart. Doesn't matter. Everywhere. Best Buys. I'm seeing all these restaurants going under. It's going on everywhere. Economy is still not good. No matter how much the government says it is. It's all a lie. It's all a big lie. It's still in shambles. But, gotta live life the way it is. But you don't have to go crazy living life. And you don't have to go crazy saying, hey, you know what we think is worth $70? This Skull and Bones game. Oh, you know what? It's not a AAA game. It's a quadruple A game because this is the funniest, dumbest thing I ever heard Yves Guillemot ever say, talking about it. And I think him and his family's gone off the deep end over at Ubisoft. I like some of their newer Assassin's Creed. Like, I love Odyssey. I'm sure I'm going to love Ragnarok when I eventually play Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. I like some of their other titles and stuff, but Ubisoft, you really think that Skull and Bones, even though everybody's been saying this is a pile of garbage, hot garbage right now, they're thinking, and it's a live service game, or it's got live service elements or something, and yet they're charging $70 for this base version of the game for a ship-to-ship game, even though you got something called a little title called what do you call it? I forgot the name of it. Not Skull and Bones, but shit, the rare one. Fuck me. What? How come I can't think of the name? Sea of Thieves. You got a little game called Sea of Thieves that you can do most of that same stuff in Sea of Thieves, and they're not charging $70 for the game? No? I don't know. He says, yeah, it's a quadruple A game, which I hear it's not a quadruple A game, and he says that's why it's $70 for this base game. So he's basically gone off the deep end, and and if you want the premium edition of the game, you got to pay $100 for it, for its extra 2 missions and smuggler token for premium battle pass and a handful of cosmetic items. He's only trying to say that stuff. He's only saying that stuff because he's got to try to make back that money that they just wasted on trying to make Skull and Bones a game, because it's been in development limbo for so long since Black Flag, and a lot of people are saying this game isn't even as good as Black Flag, and so he's got to come out there and say, no, guys, this is your buddy Yves Guillemot, the Ubisoft CEO that doesn't know how to run his own company. And he's got all this bad shit going on behind the scenes half the time. And we got investigated, and we make some great games, but then we make a lot of bad games, and then we try to charge you $70 or more dollars for this bad game, and we try to make it sound like it's a AAA, quadruple A game. Yeah, you want to buy this quadruple A game? Yes, yay! It's a very big game. It's a very good game. Go buy our game, $70, which you will see on Game Pass and store shelves for $20 or less in a few weeks. So, yep, that's all I gotta say on this story. Yep, Ubisoft defends Skull and Bones, $70 price tag, calling it a quadruple A game. Talk about comedy in the gaming industry. Yep, because they're just saying it because they want to try to make up that money that they just sunk into this game. So where's Beyond Good and Evil 2? Where's that Beyond Good and Evil 2, Yves? Well, I haven't heard anything from you guys in a while about Good and Evil 2. Remember that with the pig and the girl? The big pig that smoked cigars and the girl, and you showed us a little bit of that, and you showed us all this ad-based stuff that we're trying to pawn off to other people making ad art or whatever it was, and it was supposed to be Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's supposed to be the most ambitious game ever, and haven't seen or heard anything about it? Okay. At least they're coming out with Star Wars Outlaws. It's coming out this year, apparently. Ubisoft commits to Star Wars Outlaws in 2024. And also Assassin's Creed Codename Red by March 2025, which I think, what is that, a Chinese game or Japanese? It's going to be in China or Japan. I think in China because it says Red. And Star Wars Outlaws looks pretty good. That looks like a decent game from whoever is developing it inside Ubisoft. That video looked pretty good, and it's supposed to come out this year. And I do like, even though I got to get back to it, I haven't been, because it has its quirks too, and it has its annoyances too. But I do like the Avatar game, a bit. But it has its quirks as well. But that was worth the money that I bought that for. But Star Wars Outlaws, I'm looking forward to because that looked really, really good. I liked the whole thing where you had a female main character for that, and you're in the Star Wars universe, and I think she's a trade bounty hunter or something or other. I forgot. She's like a female Han Solo, let's just say, smuggler. So she's a smuggler. I'm looking forward to that. I would like to play that. If it does come out this year, I'd like to see some gameplay on that. Hopefully they show some gameplay during the summer showcase or something. And then it comes out in September or something. I'll play some Star Wars Outlaws because it looked good. It looked good with that one little video trailer they showed before. And I'm like, I can do me some Star Wars in that style. Because Ubisoft's doing some Star Wars games too. It's not just EA anymore. It's Ubisoft's getting in the Star Wars biz. And I'm sure they're not going to fuck around with that. I'm sure they're going to try to get some good development behind Star Wars games and get them out there quicker than later, So NVIDIA rushes out a fix for GPUs that are suffering from nasty stuttering in games and web browsers, apparently. So apparently I don't know I wonder if I got an update. I haven't checked my NVIDIA updates, but I haven't seen any stutters or anything on my browsers or games. Maybe I have. Maybe that one thing where I try to click on something, maybe that's considered to be a stutter or something, because that's in the browser. So maybe I got to check out this hotfix, because I don't know if I downloaded it yet. Here, I can check it out right now. Let me go to my NVIDIA thing here. I'm not going to update it now, but I'll check it out. So let's see here. NVIDIA Corporation. That's the experience. Here's the control panel. Let's get into that bad boy here. So apparently hotfix version 551-46 is available. How about drivers? I want to see drivers. That's a PhysX. That's desktop. Is that not the right one? That's just the control panel. That's what is it the GeForce Experience? Is that what I gotta go under? Or this is something different. This is loading. But this loads up that main screen, right? It's loading. Experience preparing to install. Oh, it's updating now. Oh, I hope this doesn't fuck up everything. Because it's installing stuff. Let's see. See if it fucks up anything. Because it's updating. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, be careful. Don't update too much there, NVIDIA. Oh yeah, this is just the game's drivers. Okay, get that out of here. Okay, so there is, 551. So it's a game ready driver. Okay, is that what this is on here? Let me go back to this. Yeah, version 55146. So yes, there is a, I didn't download it yet. I guess it's ready for me. I just haven't downloaded and used it yet. So it's apparently it's supposed to fix stuff. So you go to the GeForce Experience people and you download the GeForce Game Ready driver, which I will do later. And it's going to fix any stuttering and stuff in the graphics, which I in web browsers, yes, maybe there was a jerky scrolling. Yeah, I think it was just when I was clicking and stuff and I was trying to select stuff, it would go, maybe. But I thought that was just something different. That never bothered me, but apparently it's been bothering people in games or something. So if it fixes that, for you GeForce people, your NVIDIA people out there with NVIDIA GPUs, maybe download and update your drivers. There you go. Embracer warns of more layoffs despite already letting go over 1,387 staff people. That's bad. Really bad. Couldn't tell you how bad it is, but what more can I say? Embracer. And they say in this, then they said themselves, they state that it says its priority is to maximize shareholder value. Meaning we'll chew the fat even more just so we don't have to spend more on people, even though we're not putting out games that are making us enough money to keep the business alive. And then eventually they're going to just keep laying off people, shuttering studios, holding on to those poor IPs that'll never see the light of day unless it's somebody decides to take over and buy and take over Embracer. And there's a lot of great companies under them that are going to be gone or getting hurt. You got people that make like the what's the alien game here? Earth Defense, not Earth Defense, the crypto game. They got TombRaider license, they got the Deus Ex, they got Borderlands underneath them. They got so many things underneath them, so many games. And it is just really bad. It's just, and all I'm seeing here is they laid off 97 staff at Eidos Montreal. They laying off this many here, that many there. It's just, and then like I said, Eidos Montreal and whatever, Crystal Dynamics with the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered Collection. I wonder if that got hit because of these Embracer Group stuff. So yeah, it's sad. It's a shame. That's what the FTC should have been looking at. This is what governments, when they're all worried about Microsoft getting into the streaming market or this or taking over Activision Blizzard for almost $70 billion, they're not worrying about companies like Embracer or these Chinese people or anything, or Embracer that bought up all these other little companies that they still allowed. And look at what's happening to them. Why didn't you do anything about them if you're so worried about it? And it just makes me wonder what is behind our governments and what they're thinking. Because they're not thinking, because they're just saying, oh, Microsoft doing good. We don't like that. Microsoft bad. We go after Microsoft. We go after Microsoft and companies that are doing good that are bad Microsoft. And Google and Amazon. But Amazon and Google are actually doing bad things right now, and I can agree too. Hence why I don't pay for Prime anymore, and I don't use too many Google services anymore, except the very bare bone minimum stuff that I use. But otherwise, they worry more about Microsoft buying these gaming companies that were in a little bit of turmoil themselves run by a dictator in general, and Microsoft's trying to do better with these franchises and companies, and we'll go after them. Yeah, why not? I don't know. What more can I say on that? Everything's screwed up. Government, business, stuff like that. The world screwed up. That's why I love playing video games. It gets me away from everything. It's an scapegoat thing. It's escaping. It's escaping from the world that it is now. But Embracer, they're a naughty company. I feel sorry for everybody that's working under them and all these studios that made great games or were great support studios for other things or made those mid-tier games. I hope you guys find better jobs. I hope you all can do some better stuff. And I hope you don't lose your jobs there. But I'm pretty sure eventually Embracer's going to embrace just going under, bankruptcy. I can see it in the future. I can see that company just crumbling to a point where they just bankrupt themselves and then they sell themselves off in piecemeal, and then everybody else buys up all these other IPs and franchises, and everybody gets laid off. I can see that. I can definitely see that, and it's a sad thing. Really sad. But that's the world we live in. I hate to bum everybody out at the end, but I got something that's good for some of you people. Maybe not, because there's some darkness to this, too. Disney buys $1.5 billion stake in Epic Games to create an expansive universe within Fortnite. So you're getting Disney Fortnite pretty soon in your Fortnite. For all you Disney fans out there, there's going to be a Disney World coming in your Fortnite. Yay! I don't play Fortnite at all, so I don't really care about that. But they got a plan. They even showed a little graph here of all the Disney stuff. ESPN, Marvel, Disney, Disneyland, Disney Kids, Marvel Land, Star Wars Land, all these different lands in this Epic universe that them and Epic Games are going to be working with to build this new ecosystem within Fortnite. You know, the real metaverse, as you want to call it, the real metaverse. This is the real metaverse is Fortnite, apparently. It's your real player one thing going on. I forgot to put Avatar in there as well and more. And $1.5 billion stake in Epic Games. So they're owning $1.5 billion of Epic Games. Now, what did we talk about? What did we hear earlier in rumors about Disney and what the Disney board and shareholders were saying to Bob Iger? Was it Bob Iger? What's his name? Bob Iger? What they were talking about, the Disney CEO. Is his name Bob Iger? I forget if it's been a while. Bob Iger, yes. They were talking about with Iger on how they want Disney to get back in the video game business with their own video game business. Doesn't it get you thinking a bit? Why are they putting in so much money into this Epic Games? Plus, Epic Games has one of the largest widely used game engines / even film production engines now, because you can use the Unreal engine for movie making and TV shows and stuff as well. It's really good for they got this really powerful game / engine for filmmaking and stuff and graphics and all those worlds that you can build it with it. And they make games and stuff. And they got Fortnite. And they got a platform. I wonder if Disney's going to eventually try to buy out and take over Epic Games. How great would that be? As my eyes bulge out of my head. I'm kind of scared about this because if Disney takes over another video game studio, which they had and shuttered many of game studios. They had Lucasfilm, or LucasArts, by LucasArts. They had Avalanche Studios. Is that what it was? Avalanche Studios. And I think they had something else. I forgot if they had some other things. But they had other game studios that they made games with. Shuttered them all. Closed them all down. Let the IPs go be sold or licensed, I should say, to other third parties like EA in Ubisoft and stuff for various projects and little games and stuff. Now they want to get back into that, or at least the shareholders want Iger to get back into the video game world. What's easier to buy? Oh, we could buy Epic Games because they got something going on called Fortnite that's really big and popular, and it has its own metaverse in it, and we can build on that metaverse like they did with the Lego stuff, and we can put all Disney and other stuff into it. And then eventually, if it does well, maybe we'll want to take them over because they got other stuff too, and maybe we want to make our Disney games and stuff. But then we also own the Unreal Engine, and we can license that out to people, and that's a scary thing that Disney would own all that, because who knows if Disney loses their, like if Iger isn't going to be there that much longer, eventually somebody's going to take over, and maybe stuff happens and they just go, we don't want to be in video games anymore, because Disney's never been priority one video games. They've been cartoons, animation, movies, Marvel, stuff like that. Gaming business, not their biggest business. Makes me very scared on if Disney will eventually want to buy and take over Epic Games. Because if that happens, which, like I said, FTC might go after that because that's big business buying more big business. But if it's in the new era, like the Trump era or whatever era, maybe that wouldn't happen, or maybe it would happen easier. Why Disney wouldn't try to buy Embracer Group? Maybe Disney should spend that money and buy Embracer Group. Give them a couple $2 billion. Because if you buy Embracer Group and you have the backing of Disney, then you got all those other studios. Maybe the Embracer studios would have a chance. That would seem a better thing to buy than maybe Epic Games, which has the Unreal Engine. I don't know. I'm just thinking some ahead of dark thoughts here, where the dark empire that is Disney. Now, I was all for them buying the rest of all the Star Wars properties, buying Fox and stuff like that, getting all those properties and stuff, and doing all that stuff. And then, trying to get back most of the Marvel, which is mostly what they wanted to do, try to ring in stuff and try to get all that extra stuff. But I'm not in favor of this. I'm really not. And I think they shouldn't do it because they don't have the heart to do it, and they don't have, they're not the company for that. They're not that kind of a company. And I worry that they'll take it over, they'll get bored, or they won't find the footing for Epic Games within them if they fully try to absorb them. And then everything comes crashing down, and then they just kill the businesses or take Unreal Engine and just make it into their own. They didn't do that with ILM. The ILM still does stuff for other movies and stuff, but I just worry because everybody uses the Unreal Engine for games now. Unreal Engine's like one of the main things now. You can't deny Unreal Engine's used for most games made nowadays for consoles and PC and stuff now. It's just what it's like Speed Tree. Speed Tree is used in many games to make those trees and stuff and foliage. So, yeah. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts. Is it a good thing, bad thing? Let me know. I always want to know. Email me at oldfreakygamer@gmail.com. That's oldfreakygamer@gmail.com. Or go to oldfreakygamer.com and comment in the comment section. Or go to youtube.com/oldfreakygamer and comment on the podcast comments section, because that's where you can comment at. So, got you good, you bad, you decent. This was a long podcast. I knew it was going to be a long podcast. A lot of me ranting, a lot of me complaining, a lot of me talking about a lot of things in the games. There was a lot of things going on. So, I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want to get to starting up and working on this mesh system because it is getting later. So I got to start doing this mesh stuff sooner than later. Like I said, this podcast will be up when you know it, every other second Monday, every other Monday of the month, so every 2 weeks this gaming podcast, the GamezAttack podcast, goes up. The video will be up on YouTube and my website, OldFreakyGamer.com. I also do my Friday streams at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Like I said, we'll be going back to the world of Yakuza with Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. What else? I don't know. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me and watching the show. Thank you for and support. Like I said, leave me some comments. Leave me some stuff. I'd be happy to hear you out. You know, be kind and courteous. You know, like to hear maybe your thoughts, maybe your ideas on all this stuff. And again, thank you for listening. I'm Mr. Mike saying this podcast is now over. So game on, game hard, world conquest. I'm pushing this gaming button. This show is now game over. So everybody, peace and prosperity. Peace and prosperity. See ya.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
That's a good game.
Enjoy your gaming.